welcome. We are so excited to have you. We have so many people that signed up for our boot camp today, and we are so excited that you're here. I'm Amber Trout, if you don't know, and I am an instructional coach that works in Colorado, Fountain Fort Carson District 8. And I am joined by the amazing...
Hi, I'm Stephanie Rothstein. I teach in California. My position is called a TOSA, a teacher on special assignment. I help support ed tech in my school and district, and I also chair a project-based learning pathway there. You'll notice Amber and I came ready. We came in our camo for you today. And welcome on behalf of all of Global GEG. We are here to help bring PD that will help you, not just now, but later, and we can't wait to help you achieve level 1. Let's take it away.
We're so excited. Thank you so much. All right. So as you know, this is going to be 3 weeks of fun, and we're going to have so much excitement over all these sessions that we're going to be doing. We have tons of amazing presenters today, the next week, and the following. We have about 20 people, I believe, that are voluntary helping you to get through this boot camp. So we are so excited for that today. We have our first session today. Next Friday, the 19th, we will have our second session, and then our final and finishing boot camp session will be on the 26th, on Friday, the 26th. We also have office hours. So if we're going too fast, there's something that you're like, I need more help on that. I just absolutely can't figure this out. We are going to have office hours every Monday in the morning and the afternoon. So they are 11 to 11:30 Eastern time. And then they're going to be 7:30 to 8 Eastern time, PM, sorry. So just make sure if you can't make one on Monday morning, you can make the one in the evening. So we are making sure that we're hitting all time zones and making sure that we're accommodating all of you. So again, office hours every Monday after boot camp if you are needing some extra support or help. And then if you want this slide deck, we are going to link it at the very end so that you can have all the resources and all the links to be able to do all the things that you need to on your own.
So if you're watching this on the replay, don't worry, you'll be able to follow along with us as well.
Yes.
Next up, let's take it away. Thank you, Stacy. Okay, take it away, Amber.
All right, so it is boot camp day. As you know, we have our camo on, whoop, whoop. But we want to see your camo. So show us your camo or your Google shirts or anything that you have.
Look, I'm also wearing camo pants.
Me too. Can you believe it? Camo all the way from head to toe. So we are wearing our camo, but we want to see everybody else's. We want to see that you guys are just showing us some support for this today. So wear your Google shirts or your camo and take a selfie with the presenter while we're presenting. So, one of these. Whoop, whoop. And then post it on social media with at Global GEG, and then maybe the presenter's name, whoever it is you took it with, and you will get 50 points. If you're not on that leaderboard, you need to be so that you can get all those points. And today we're giving you free ones for just wearing a shirt.
I know. It is a fierce competition, let me tell you. Next up, Tracy. Next slide. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Okay, so today we get to take you through 4 awesome parts of G Suite. So we're going to be going through Chrome. We're also going to be talking about Gmail, Drive, and Calendar. And we would like to thank Anne. This awesome graphic came from Anne. So we have so many of you posting things to Twitter. You might see a thank you here and there throughout our presentation. And maybe if you're posting awesome things, you got some bonus points just added to the leaderboard. So we started to have some questions of, how is somebody ahead of me in the leaderboard? And it might just be that they were awarded some things for posting awesomeness in social media. So we would like to thank you, and we want to say keep doing it because it helps make all of us better, and we learn from you too. Take it away.
All right, joining the leaderboard. Steph, are you going to explain this all to them?
Okay, if you are not already on there, we've mentioned it many times, but Erin Molden, thank you for this awesome gift. If you are not already on there, it is lovely. Adam made this amazing leaderboard. So what you need to do, you need to please make sure that all you have to do is really sign in with an email. You make a little account. It takes 30 seconds. Once that's done, you just keep going back to that same place. And when we give you any sort of secret word, or phrase, it might come up soon, just a warning, you can go to that leaderboard, pop that in there, and then it'll help you rise up on the leaderboard. We are so excited because we've been given some amazing prizes that we are going to give out at the very end of this. It really is there just to help keep you motivated and excited. And we know some of you really love the competition. We have seen it. So it is there just for fun. Please know that, but it is there to help keep you going and motivated and for us to keep cheering you on. So thank you very much. Let's go on the leaderboard. Okay, and there are a ton of resources. Amber, there are a ton of resources that we have on our website. Amber, are you talking about this one?
Sure, yes. So we have added resources to the website, the bootcamp website there. So if you are needing to find resources to kind of have a checklist of going through your level 1 exam, have a video. We actually had another GEG, South Louisiana, I believe it was, that did the level 1 basics. So there's that YouTube video in there as well, and you can go through that at your leisure. So check out the resources page. It is linked to this, and it's got that bit.ly there at the bottom, and that's where you can find everything you need to kind of check your list of things you need to learn. And Stacy Klein, shout out to her. She has an amazing HyperDoc there, and it is now for the criterion system is what it is currently. But as soon as it switches over, we'll talk about that later, July 1st to ProctorU, then she's going to update that and have all the information that you need for that new system. But right now, just so you know, it is in the old system, the criterion system, and she will update that. But still amazing information, helpful for either platform at this point.
So the words that, if you're like, what words is Amber just saying? There, we will talk about it soon enough, but there are two kind of testing systems that when you go to the website, we will be showing you about how to sign up for the exam, but those are the two kind of testing platforms that exist. So no worries on it. Just know that this doc will get updated as any of that information changes. But if you make a copy of it, just make sure that you go back to her original link for Stacy's, and she's going to be updating all of that info for you. And she is also progressing our slides. So thank you, Stacy. Okay, so if you are also in need of graduate credit, if you haven't done so already, we had a session helping you understand a bit more about Wakelet. And Wakelet, we are so lucky to have Randall. Randall helped us put together, or I should say not helped, he put together for us the way that to earn graduate credit, and it is amazing. So I am for sure going to be bringing this back to my district and giving him a big shout out if it's possible. But what it allows you to do is pace your own PD, right? Your own professional development, and earn graduate credit for it. If that's something that you need, that you've been waiting to take part in certain things because of it, then you can go ahead and sign up. And there's information on our website for how to do it. Just scroll down to the very bottom. It's at the bottom of it, and it will give you information. If you have any trouble, Randall said that you can message him, and he's amazing.
Yes.
Take it away, Stacy. Thank you. Slide. Oh, yes. Are you giving the shout out, Amber?
Yes, we have some amazing graphics that are coming in through Twitter and coming in through everywhere. This way. There we go. So we have Katie Wells. Thank you so much for your amazing graphic that you used. We are watching these. We are looking at them. We do see all the great work that you're doing. So we have different shout outs throughout this presentation. Don't forget to continue doing them. We will put them in our next couple of days of presentations. So Katie Wells, whoop, whoop, thank you.
Yeah, love it. I just received word as we're going through. So this might change, but here is your word for right now. The word is Reveille, Revelie. I learned that is done at the beginning of a day, right, when we're in boot camp. Thank you, Louise, for teaching me that. And congrats right now to Erin Molden. As of right now, you were on the top of the leaderboard as of maybe 30 seconds ago with 1737. Don't deter. Don't deter. You too rise to the top of the leaderboard. So this is your code just for coming here. We have some other ways for you to earn some points on the leaderboard and also learn at the same time. And that really is our goal, is that each of these things that we are presenting to you are ways to help you grow and learn. Are we getting a surprise screen here from Stephanie? I don't know. We might be.
Maybe she's showing us how to get to the leaderboard. I think she's trying to show us how to get to the leaderboard.
I think she
so
might.
That everybody knows.
Oh, look at that. Nice reveal. Nice reveal. I was like, here with bated breath, Steph. Oh, look how we matched the leaderboard, Amber. Look how we matched.
Yes. That's super exciting for the people that are playing for the points. And again, this is your code. Don't forget to put it in.
Yay. Oh, tell me, how can we earn some more points? You mentioned this. But there are more ways. Yes.
There is more. There is more. Take a selfie and share your excitement for bootcamp day 1, and then what session you were most looking forward to. If you tag a friend in your excitement and cheer them on, that would be great. And then if you complete this with these hashtags, Global GEG and GEG Day 1, that will get you 50 welcome bonus points. So you literally just have to put yourself a selfie, tell us what you're excited about and the things you're looking forward to, and tag someone.
Yay. That's going to be awesome. For me, there's nothing better than when you do that and then somebody says, you go. So our whole point in tagging people is give yourself that cheering section. It'll keep you going throughout this time. And we want you to know that people are going to be coming in this session right now. Like, we're going for about 15 minutes. And then each of our subsequent sessions are around 30 minutes of time, depending on the session. And so if you in between, right, we'll be here. We'll be helping support you. If you need to go get a drink, if you need to know, okay, I'm going to come right back to this one. That was a lot of info. It will be here on a recording. There's also another way that you can earn some points that I think Amber's going to talk about. This is a favorite way for me, but if you like to draw,
yes,
what should they do, Amber?
Yes, sketch note and post your note to social media. So if you're into that, and you can, I do stick figures, but maybe people are a little more excited about that and are really great with their sketching skills, then go right ahead and use that hashtag Global GEG at Global GEG as well for today's session. That will get you 100 points.
Yes, because I would love nothing more than to be able to put it up on our website. So if you don't know what a sketch note is, I encourage you to look that up. But a sketch note, I've been to Sylvia Duckworth's sessions and I have her books. But a sketchnoting essentially is a note-taking process using pictures as well. So it's a visual note taker. And so if you could do that, we would love to feature you. Next slide. Okay. So please don't forget to send in any templates if you are asked to do so during a session. Your session leader will guide you through, but this is the email address. If you can't see it, it says bootcamp@globalgeg.org, and that's where you'll be sending anything that they ask you to email. And then I think the last one, Stacy.
You're making great time, by the way. All right, another shout out. Amazing. It's Ginny FG at Ginny FG. So thank you for your amazing graphics. We are so excited that you guys are really, giving it your all on these challenges, and we really love them. We used even somebody's graphic just in our presentation because we find them so amazing. So again, shout out to Ginny FG. Woo, woo.
Woo! Yes, you go. There might be one more. Is there one more?
Is there one more? I think there's one more.
Right. In our last 20 seconds, let's see if we can shout out somebody else. No, don't worry. Do not fear. More are on the way. So we're happy to introduce to you our first session. Perfect. It was supposed to start 15 minutes in. I'm so proud of us, Amber. Okay. And so we have awesome speakers that are going to be popping in right now. And we're going to make sure that that we cheer them on as you start your first session on Google Chrome. So let's bring them in.
We have the amazing Patrick and Lance joining us today.
Yes.
going through Google Chrome with you, they will show you when you see their first slide coming up there, all the amazing things they're doing and the badges they've earned. They are rock stars.
They really are. And don't forget that this presentation will be available after we are all done today. Thank you so much, Lance and Patrick. You're going to be awesome.
Yes. Woo.
Hey everybody, happy to be here with you today. And as I said, I'm Patrick. Lance is right below. And we are going to show you some different things on Google Chrome. And if we could switch to my screen share. Perfect, thank you. On the screen, you're going to see a bit.ly link that will get you to just the Chrome part of the slides. And as we've said in different parts of the chats and things, you will get the entire slide deck later on. But this link will give you just the Chrome goodness. A little bit more about me. You can see my website on the slide. There is also contact information as well as my tweet deck. We're going to stay in this smaller view for right now, just because we're going to bounce out of this slide deck a lot. So remember that bit.ly was on the first slide there, and you'll be able to get back to things. But phosedu.com is where you can get all of the resources that I put together, and phosedu on Twitter. And any of the badges you see on the screen, if you're interested in any of those, send me a line and I'd be more than happy to help out.
All right, good morning, everyone. This is Lance coming all the way from Tennessee to you, or afternoon, depending on where you're at. And Pat, I don't know if you've thought about this, but we've been given the most important job that's out there, because you have to take your test using Google Chrome. So it's very important that we explain to you and do a good job today telling you how to use Google Chrome and all the secret idiosyncrasies behind it. There's a couple of things that we will cover today that we're going to go over that is not in the test, but you need to know to take the test, because they have a lot of things they'll tell you. So I'm Lance Key. I'm the Instructional Technology Specialist in Putnam County, Tennessee. As Pat said, I've got some badges and things here. If you're interested in any of those, let me know. MrKeysClassroom.com is my website where I host my flipped content. Get Inspired and Innovate is a podcast that I host with Miss Stephanie Howe, which will be on the show a little later today. And Key Skills for Success, it was my innovator project. So let's talk about Chrome right quick. First off, Chrome is a web browser, and it came about, Pat, go ahead and go to the next slide for us. It came about because, in my opinion, there was just other browsers that are out there that just couldn't keep up. So as you can see, Chrome is our superhero here, flying through the air, and it works fast. It's open source. And just so you know, the new Microsoft Edge is built off the same platform because they couldn't beat it, so they decided to copy it. So we want to talk first off about the layout of Chrome, just so that everybody has the same common language and we're talking about the same thing. There's a video that's going to be here. When you get the slide deck, you can watch it, but I'm going to walk you through it today. So first, at the very top, and you see that Pat has a lot of these open, is a bunch of tabs that we have going on up here. Okay, so you've got tabs that are here. He can click and go through different ones if he needs to. He's got a plus sign over there if he needs to open a new one or things like that. So these are what we call tabs. One of the first things that Google tells you to do when you're taking the test is to pin the tab of the test, because you don't want to accidentally close it. I don't know if any of you accidentally close a tab when you're using it. If you pin it, you can't do that. So two tabs that I always have pinned when I'm at work is my email and my calendar, so that I don't accidentally close those and so I can get back to them quickly. The second section that we're going to talk about is what is called the Omni box. Okay, now most of you know it as probably the Google search place, or maybe the URL box, or where you type things in to find stuff out. But Google calls it the Omni box because it does a whole lot of things that we will get to later today. But this is the Omni box. Next, you got your buttons over to the left side. You got your back button, your forward button, or your previous page, or a page you need to go back to. You got your refresh button, which will reload that page for you, and your home button, which is whatever you got your home screen set to. Over to the right of the Omni box is where your extensions are loaded. Now, if you are taking your test, you will have one extension loaded, which is the ProctorU extension that will get rid of all the other extensions. But this is where, like in your classroom, where your extensions would be loaded. so that you can empower your browser. Then to the right of that, we've got your little logo, which tells you which Chrome that you're actually logged into here. There's many different Chromes that you can log into, many different accounts. We'll talk about those accounts and how to properly do that today, because most people do it wrong, and it's okay. It's because they haven't been educated, and that's what we're here to do today. Then the next is probably one of the biggest things that Googlers fuss about is those three little dots that are over there. And I may have just said that wrong. I've heard it called Oreos. I've heard it called shish kebabs. I've heard it called all kinds of things. You'll probably hear me say three dots or Oreos today. Pat, what do you call those things?
I usually go with the three dots.
Three dots, yeah. So I've heard it called all kinds of different things. There's been actually a Twitter feud about that. So just know we're going to call it three dots today. And then underneath the Omnibox is your bookmark bar. If you do not have a bookmark bar, we'll show you how to turn it on today. Everybody needs a bookmark bar. That way you can quickly get to things. The last two things that I'll tell you about is then you have the body of your web page, which everybody should understand. That's the body part. And then the last part is if you have any downloads at the bottom, they will pop up down at the bottom of the screen down there. All right, so let's talk about your first time logging into Google. So Patrick will click on his little icon dude over here on the side. Hopefully we don't have any surprises here. Go ahead, Pat. And this was...
I have clicked on it, but I do not see it showing up.
All right. So his little icon guy here, his little circle, his picture will actually be the place that you log in. So you can see we've got that set up, and I've got a screenshot here of what mine looks like because I have all of these different accounts that I have on mine. So the first thing you need to do is click on that, and it may just be a letter or maybe a dot, and you can sign in right from there. And this is also how you can switch multiple accounts. So I know a lot of times you're in your browser and you're logging into maybe looking at a document, or you want to check your email in your other account. Sometimes people get their email accounts crossed up because they'll be in the email and then they want to look at the other one, so they'll just sign right into that inside that email, and then you've got 2 or 3 different accounts there. The proper way to actually do it, and I'm guessing StreamYard for some reason is blocking the settings showing that, is to click on that guy, and then it will allow you to switch your accounts right there. So I'm going to flip it over to Pat now, and he's going to talk to you about a little incognito mode.
Okay, so another thing that is usually used in some of the testing, especially if it goes through the older system, which is the Criterion, you're going to need to know how to do a incognito window. And there's a couple different ways to get there. Through the 3-dot menu at the top, which may not show for you, but if you click on that 3-dot menu, the third option down is going to be new incognito window. And you can actually do that with a keyboard shortcut as well, which is Control, Shift, and N. If you're on a Mac, substitute Command for Control, and you will get there as well. Sweet. I see it is now coming up on your screen, but that incognito is very nice for the fact that it does not, and you'll see it on your screen now, the things it does not track as far as your browser history, different things like that. Other ways to use it outside of the testing side is to think about things like if your students are doing presentations, but you need to run through your machine, you can do incognito windows, and they could even sign in. Of course, they could share it with you, but there's different ways that you can use it, and you'll see that there is a link on your screen or in the slide deck from Casey Bell for 8 different ways that you can use incognito. But as you open the incognito windows, remember that it's not going to track that history. So keep that in mind as you go through different things. If you accidentally close that tab, it's not going to be able to be resurrected as easily as other things are as well. Anything else you can think of on the incognito side, Lance?
No, that's about it, man.
Okay, as we come down through, some other things on the tab side that are important, and Lance pointed this out in the beginning, pinning a tab is really important when you're taking a test so that you can't accidentally close it at least as easily. You'll notice at the top of my screen, I have tabs across the top that are larger, and if I click on one of those, you're going to see, it's a little small for you, but you're going to see I have that X to close it. But if I click on the tab here that has the slide deck open, there's no X whatsoever because I've gone ahead and right click that, and there's a pin option once you right click. You can also pin the tab via Control or Alt plus clicking the tab. So that either way will let you pin that tab. So again, it's going to remove that possibility of closing it and give you a little bit more peace of mind as far as accidentally closing it and maybe losing out on part of the test as you're going through, or losing a crucial piece of content you're looking at as you go through.
I was going to say, why did you pin that presentation tab today?
I pinned it because I did not want it to close out on accident. Plus, in the global GEG deck, it is a massive deck, so it would take some time to reload. So I wanted to make sure, if I could, to not close it by accident.
Guess who already messed that up today? That'd be this guy. So I should have pinned it like you did.
Yeah. Well, we will have a trick coming up here right on the next slide, but I do want to point one more thing out on this one. And this is maybe something that might help you with the test. It may just be an extra bit of Chrome goodness. But if I hold Control as I click my tabs at the top, you'll notice I have 2 of them selected now. That allows me to select more than one tab, and I could then pull those off of my screen and pull those 2 tabs separately into something else. I could have selected 5 tabs, 10 tabs, whatever it is. If I have a certain task I'm working on and I want to pull those into another window, use that Control or Command on your Mac, select multiple, and then pull them down. And if you are a tab hoarder by chance, there's a couple extra extensions on the right hand side there for you. One tab is the most popular, but there are others that you can open a ton of tabs and have them condensed down and save for you. So a lot of nice things on there. So keep that in mind. And if by chance you accidentally closed a tab like Lance did, you have this nice, sweet little keyboard shortcut you can use again if you're on Mac. Sub Command in, but Control-Shift-T will resurrect tabs that you have closed, and it will, correct me if I'm wrong, Lance, it'll go back as far as 10 tabs, I believe.
That's right, 10 tabs. And also, just so you know, for those little kids in the classroom that think they're smarter than we are and they're closing their tabs real quick, this is something that was amazing to me when I found this out. You can go over to their keyboard, press Control-Shift-T, and it'll open those tabs back up. Even if they close the web browser, you can open the web browser, press Control-Shift-T or Command-Shift-T, depending on which device you're on, and it will open all of those tabs back up. And the kids are like, oh my gosh, now you know everything I just did. So if you need to watch them, this is a cool little trick that you might want to use.
Absolutely. I teach that to every group of teachers I work with for that scenario. And of course, if they accidentally close things as well.
Yeah, and I'm bad about that too, man. I close so many things when I don't mean to, and then it's like, oh, why did I just do that? And used to, it was like, now I go find it again. Now it's just Control-Shift-T, and then there you are. And of course, you could also go to your history and find that too. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's talk about downloads. First off, to find your downloads, the things you downloaded in the past, there's a couple of different ways you can do it. There's a keyboard shortcut, Control-J or Command-J, that will open those up for you. Or for most people, they're probably going to go over to the 3 dots or the Oreos, whatever you want to call them, which I don't think, Patrick, is yours going to show that today? I can try.
Whenever I click a menu, they do not open. It is up on my screen currently, but I'm guessing you guys don't see it, unfortunately.
Gotcha. I was going to try to show mine, but that's okay. So when you click those 3 dots, you can scroll down, you can hit the downloads, and it'll bring up the same thing that he hit with the Control-J. Hit Control-J there for us.
On its way.
There you go. And from here, he can see the downloads that he's got. He can close them out, hit the X there if he needs to, or he can hit the Show in Folder button. And what that's going to actually do is open up his folder of his downloads, and then he'll be able to see all of those that are there. Now, for some of you guys, if you're like me, I don't like everything going to the default downloads folder. So you want to be able to change that. So in order to do that, you would, and it's not letting me share my screen either. So in order to do that, you would click on the 3 dots and you would hit downloads. And then from there, it will allow you to change where you're downloading it to. I always put my stuff in the desktop, because if I'm downloading it, that means I want to access it real quickly. So you go to your settings, under the three dots, scroll down to where it says downloads, and it will allow you to change where those are going to. All right. Patrick, talk to us a little bit about bookmarks.
Absolutely. So one of the biggest things, obviously, with just about any internet browser is working on bookmarks and having those bookmarks obviously saved for you. And one of the nice things about Chrome, and one of the biggest reasons we push whenever we do something Chrome related for people to sign in and actually create that account, is for the fact that once you sign in, if you put Chrome on your phone, then if you put it on another device, those bookmarks are going to sync everywhere for you. So it's an awesome way to keep everything in one nice place, and as of course if you use the same browser. So in the top of your address bar or your Omni bar here, you're going to see the star in the right hand side. If you click that star, it will pop up your bookmarks options as far as what you want the name to be and where you want it to be. A nice pro tip to that, or a hack for that, you'll notice on my address bar, there's a couple that are just icons. Those things that are just icons are done by, in that bookmarks bar, when it pops up, you delete everything out of the name box and leave nothing whatsoever, and it will bookmark only with that icon. So if you want a lot of different things bookmarked across your bookmarks bar so you can see them and you recognize those icons, just click that star, and when it comes up with the box, wipe everything out, and you will have just the icon on your address bar. You'll notice on mine, I bookmark a ton of things, so you can actually put folders on that bookmarks bar as well. But as you go through, as you research things, maybe if you're researching and doing some review for the test, you might want to create a folder for that, bookmark things. You might want to start a folder, if you haven't already, in your Chrome browser for the global GEG, so you can bookmark all the awesome pages and things that come out from the global GEG. But that is a quick run through on bookmarks. And again, make sure you sign in on each one of your devices to the Chrome account so that you can sync those bookmarks across the board. And this one is going to be a little more difficult, and we'll probably just stay on the slide deck here since my menus don't open. But settings is something.
I'm trying to share my screen here. That way I could maybe see if my settings will show. There we go. I think it finally went in. There we go. We can see my settings.
Nice. So in the settings, you're going to have a range of different things that you can look at. So once you click on those three dots, or the three Oreos, whichever you want to call them, you're going to see, of course, at the top, we talked about incognito, ways to open new tabs. That's also where you're going to be able to access your history, downloads that Lance talked about. That's also where you can get to bookmarks, and where you can get to like the bookmarks manager, which makes it a lot easier to kind of organize your bookmarks if you're moving a lot of things in mass. But a couple things that I definitely want to point out in the settings in there too is the one that says more tools. That gives you a quick way to get into things like extensions, and Chrome itself has its own task manager. So there's some cool stuff there. Last but not least, if we're in the settings menu, we should probably point out that settings is the third from the bottom, and you can get into certain things in there once you would click on settings that are going to allow you to do things from custom set the pages that open when you open the browser, check out your passwords and autofill things that you have saved, go into it and set your custom level of zoom, your font size, your custom fonts. All of those things you can set up so that each time you come into Chrome, it's going to give you all of those things each time. And there's a lot more in there, and we're not going to dive deeper into it, but there are things like accessibility features and a bunch of other things in settings. So if you've not explored settings before, it's definitely something you want to go into and at least have a working knowledge of the cool things you can do, because I didn't even touch on themes and things, but we'll touch on that coming up on the next slide when we get into looking at the Chrome apps and the Chrome Web Store.
All right, so Chrome apps and Chrome's Web Store, this will allow you to get your extensions, and will allow you to get Chrome apps that you've got running, like maybe remote desktop, something like that. One thing that I will point out that Pat was talking about was under the more tools, the task manager. This is like what we used to call the OS button on the PC, which is the Control-Alt-Delete button. And one thing that I wanted to point out to everybody is every extension and every tab that you have open actually takes up system resources. So if you have a lot of things open, as you see that I do, it actually takes up system resources, and sometimes it can cause your browser to run sluggish or slow. So if you have too many of these extensions and guides going on, it's going to slow your browser down. So I wanted to say that before we went extension happy and started just loading in a bunch of things, because I have a lot of teachers who get excited sometimes and they want to see what everything does. And then they're just like, my browser's not working. I'm like, well, it's because you've got 30,000 things running. So just realize that every extension that you have going is going to take up some system resources, and some take up more than others, especially like Screencastify and things like that. When you're running Screencastify, you got a video stream coming in, and it really slows you down. So if you are on a PC or a Mac, you should have an apps button over here on the far left. This is probably the quickest way to get to the web store. Now, I'm not going to make this mistake again of just clicking that, because if I do, it's going to close my presentation out here because I wasn't smart like Pat and pinned this. Let me go ahead and just do that, Pat, so I don't mess this up. So I'm going to go ahead and pin that tab right there. Let me open up a new tab, and I'm going to hit my apps right here. And you will see that I have some different apps that are running here. So the apps button will allow me to get to this screen. Here is your web store. So you can click right here on the web store, or in the bottom right-hand corner will allow you to go to the web store. And this is where you can search for apps and extensions. Now remember, apps and extensions are things that are going to empower your browser. And by empower your browser, I mean it's going to allow you to do things that it wasn't necessarily set up to do in the beginning. When you get here, you can look for the extensions that you want to use. So something like Screencastify. Search that. You're going to see that mine says rate it right here. Yours will have add to Chrome, like this one has got if you don't have it. And you'll just click on that. It'll take you through a couple of steps, and then you'll see it thrown up here in your extensions. Now, the first one that I actually suggest you get is some type of extension manager, because you want to be able to turn these extensions on and off quickly. I use one called Extensity. Pat, do you have one that you use?
I actually use Extensity as well.
Use Extensity as well. So you can see we've got Extensity here. What Extensity does, it just allows me to click on this little button right here. That's not working during the presentation. Let me get off this tab. Maybe it's because I'm on that. And it normally would show me all the extensions that I have running and allow me to turn those on and off quickly so that I'm not using up too many system resources. So like I said, there's other apps and things like that that will allow, there it goes finally, that will allow you to empower your browser. Is there any apps or extensions, Pat, that's your favorites that you want to mention?
You already touched on Screencastify. That's one that I use a ton as a coach because it allows you to make those nice short screencast videos. It also allows you to export as GIFs for free now. I also bring in LastPass as an extension I use to organize all my passwords and keep those safe. A lot of us, obviously, you've seen in some of the promotions, probably have the Bitmoji extension. Know that there's extensions for things like Google Classroom, Google Keep. There's a ton of them out there. And in the slide deck, we actually have linked in a periodic table of Chrome extensions created by Denise Henry Orndorff. And that periodic table of Chrome extensions has a ton of different extensions that were crowdsourced from teachers and people working with teachers, maybe coaches, but things that are tried and true in the classroom that allow you to click on each one of those icons once you access it via the link in the slide deck to see what all of those different things are. Because we are just barely scratching the surface. And that's where something like Extensity really comes in handy, because of the fact that the more extensions you have installed, the more things can slow down if you have them all active. So one of the biggest recommendations is toggle them on and off as you need them. If there's a few you really need a lot, keep those on. If there's ones you only use a few times, turn those ones off. A perfect example of that for me is a color picker extension. It allows me to pull color code off of different graphics when I'm doing design work. I don't use that all the time, so that's one that I have in the background sometimes.
Yeah, and a couple of other tips on this is, first off, I said if you're using a Mac or PC, you should have that button. But if you're on a Chromebook, there's that little circle in the bottom, which made all of you look at there. You can click on that, and that's actually where your apps are stored. Or if you're in a browser, you can also just type in the Omni box up here, Chrome Web Store. And Google is our friend. It helps us search for things. So we can just type in Chrome Web Store, and I guarantee you it's going to be the very top one. I even misspelled something there. Oh, it says I should put Web Store as 2 words. And you can click right here and also just get right to the web store that way and add your extensions and apps from there. We've got a quick little video here. We're going to bypass that because we've only got a few minutes left. But when you get a chance or when you get the slide deck, go back and watch that cool little video. I think that you will enjoy that. A couple of tips that we want to give you for taking the test. First off, I have teachers ask me this all the time. When I'm on a web page and I'm looking for something, you can quickly press the Control F or the Command F. I'm going to do it here inside of this. It's going to do it inside of the dock for me here. And you're going to get this little box that pops up here. And then you can type in any word, and it's going to search for that word. And all these little yellow ticks that you see right here is the number of times that word's on the page. So like habitat that you see here. So habitat is on the page 8 different times. There's probably 8 different ticks if you can see the whole screenshot here. And you can press the enter button to find every time and every place that word is. When you're looking for resources on a website, a lot of times I'll Google search it. I'll pull it up. But then once I get to that page, I'll hit Command F. And what it'll do for you is allow you to then know exactly where that's at. Second tip, your Omnibar. It is not just a search place. As you saw a second ago, I searched for the Chrome Web Store. It did a Google search for me really quick. You can also type, of course, URLs in there, which is like your www.google.com, and it will take you straight to Google. But it will do other things too. It will do timers for you. It will do calculators, graphing calculators. It will do your weather for you. You can just type in weather, and it'll tell you that. So if I come up here, let's say I'm teaching a class, I need to set a 5-minute timer. I can go timer, 5 minutes, and there you go. Here's my timer, and it will start automatically for me, and I've got a timer that's ready to go right there. So your Omnibox will do so much for you. We've got a lot of tips and tricks in there for you when you get a chance. Go through that slide deck. Those won't necessarily be on the test, but we felt like that would help you for the classroom. All right. And then last, this is really technical, but it'll save you some time. You can also create custom searches inside of that. I'm not going to take a lot of time to go over that right now, but in the settings, you can set these up so that if I'm doing a YouTube search, I can press YT, type in what I'm looking for, and if you notice right there, it says searching YouTube. But that is a more advanced trick, but you may want to look at that sometime. So anyways, like I said, Pat, I feel like they gave us the most important presentation of the day, because if you can't efficiently work with your Chrome browser, you're not going to be as successful as you could be in the test. So any last tips or tricks that you've got?
So if you go to the next slide, one of the most important parts of our presentation is going to come up, and that is the secret word that we need to make sure we get out to everybody, which is Kodachrome. So make sure if you're playing along in the leaderboard, make sure you get that word and make sure that you input it in so you can get those points. And then Lance, if you go ahead and scroll down through the slides, a couple here, there's a few slides on here that are just more resources. So go ahead and keep going down through. We have a couple more with links. And then if you want to go all the way down to our bonus points, and then one more slide, we have a couple challenges for you. One of those is take to Twitter and share out your favorite extension, tip, or trick with using Google Chrome. And then if you've never seen it before, when you lose internet, you happen to get that T-Rex game that comes up because you can't reach the internet. We found one of those that you can play while you stay on the internet, and we'd love it if you would share out some of your top scores as you play that. And a side tip to that, as we're almost out of time, is we've had some enterprising young ones, at least in my district, that will toggle out that internet just enough if they're on a hardwired computer or accidentally, turn off their Wi-Fi just so they can play this. So check those connections if you see this game popping up. And probably one last tip, because I think we are almost out of time. Make sure you check out the help menu in Chrome if you have anything going on. Do that search for that help screen, because there's a lot more keyboard shortcuts and there's a lot of help easily searchable out there. And thank you guys for having us. Lance, do you have anything else you want to add in?
No, thank you guys. Follow me on Twitter if you have any questions or need any help.
Absolutely. Reach out anytime. I am happy to help as well.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We are so excited that Lance and Patrick were here to help us today, and we are excited for them to be here with us and learning all those great things.
Woohoo! Who do we have next, Amber?
It looks like we have next the amazing Melissa and Stephanie. They will be joining us, and they will be teaching you guys about Google Drive. And just so you know,
great. Don't get confused. I'm Steph R. That's Steph H. She's great. Yeah. Everybody's awesome. So come on board, Melissa and Steph. Take it away.
Yes. And Melissa has the most amazing graphics, just so everybody knows. She is so great with her graphics.
Well, I do have to give a shout out to my friend Brooke Lowry. She's the one who's taught me that. So
nice job.
I loved working with Melissa. Just so everybody knows, she is amazing. And so if you have any questions or anything about Google Drive or session that we're about to talk about, feel free to reach out to myself or Melissa on social media. Feel free to email us, and you will get a copy of this slide deck at the end. The reason it's at the end is because we're still adding things to the deck. So we will send it out. You can get it all available once we are done. You ready, Melissa, to take them on a drive?
I'm ready to go. Let's drive.
We just wanted to shout out EdTechology. He created this awesome graphic for our session, and he posted it on Twitter. He's actually having a baby boy this morning, right now during boot camp. So hopefully we can get that picture of his son very soon.
All right, road trip to organization. So we're going to tell you about some of the tools that you'll need for the Google Level 1 test. So here we go. So the next slide is talking about us. My name is Melissa Summerford, and I am an instructional technologist in Waller, Texas. That is just outside of Houston. And you can follow me on Twitter at Summerford Stars.
And I'm Stephanie Howe. I'm an instructional technology coordinator in Pickerington, Ohio. And I have the best job ever. I get to help teachers and students use technology, and it's a lot of fun. And you can find me on Twitter at Mrs. Howe24.
All right, so how this is going to work, I'm going to talk about the slide, and then Stephanie is going to demonstrate that for you, so that way you can see how to get in. So two ways to access, well, one of the first ways to access is to go to drive.google.com. If you type that in the Omni box, which we just learned what to call that from the previous session. So this is one way you'll get into Google Drive. And so the other way that you'll get into Google Drive is you can also go to the gray waffle. I think that's on the next slide. So on the next slide, so I call it the gray waffle. You can call it what you like, but it's the gray waffle to me. So if you click on the gray waffle, you can get to your drive this way as well. So take it away, Stephanie.
All right, I'm going to show my screen. So here I am. I'm on just a blank Google slide. I can go right up here to the Omni box. And I could type in Google Drive and hit search, and it will pop up once my internet decides to load. So here I can click this first link, and I am to my drive. Maybe. There we go. And then I just go to Drive once I'm here. You can also bookmark it, so you can see all of my bookmarks. I have my drive right here because it's probably the #1 thing I use almost every single day. So there is one way to get to your drive. You can also go to the waffle. I agree with Melissa. It's called the waffle. Anything Abid says is incorrect. So it's called the waffle. And you just click these 9 little dots. And once it loads, you're going to see the drive symbol. right here up at the top. And yours might be in a different location. You're just looking for that quick triangle icon that says drive. And again, if I click it, it's going to open my drive. Melissa?
That's right. And like Stephanie said, I like to bookmark mine too, so that way it's right there at the top. So you got 3 ways actually. Bookmark it, go to the gray waffle, and then search it in the Omnibox.
And that's what's awesome about Google is there's no one correct way. You can go multiple ways, but whatever way Abid goes is incorrect.
He said he's Team Waffle.
Oh, okay. He's correct today. No, you can enter drive multiple ways. You can search it. You can go to the waffle. You can also bookmark it. However you get there is how you get there.
All right, let's see what we're going to drive to next. All right, so how to access your G Suite tools. So once you're in Drive, if you go to the button at the top that says New, that's where you're going to go to all the different G Suite tools within Drive. All right, take it away, Stephanie.
So once we are, let me get my screen back up there. Once we are in Drive, you click the New button, which is found right here. And you can go to Docs, Sheets, Slides. If you click More, there's a lot of other options. So you can also go to Forms, Drawings, Google Maps, Google Sites. You don't really need app scripts, but you could also go to Jamboard, which is a really fun tool that people are using. So again, that was under this really pretty button that says New. You can also get to all these tools again in the waffle. So here they are again. There's Docs, Sheets, Slides. I prefer to go through the New way. I think it's quick, easy. You can also type in docs.new, and it will also bring up a blank Google Doc for those people that need a quick blank Google Doc and you don't need to go to your Drive.
That's right. See, another. How many ways with that, Stephanie?
That was a lot of ways.
Right.
And for the test, it doesn't matter how you get there. All it matters is if you know how to get there one of those ways. So pick the way that you feel most comfortable with and use that way.
That's right. So now, once you're in your Google Drive and you need to start creating some folders. So let's look at what that looks like. So you'll go to the New button and you'll go to Create Folder. And this is where you want to name your folder because it's all about organization and keeping organized. So because I've been guilty of it. I'll name it something quick and then I'm like, what did I name that folder? So make sure you remember what you named that folder so you can get back into it because it's all about keeping yourself organized.
Yeah, definitely use folders. And I love using folders because it really does save time when you're searching. So you can see here, I have Global GEG, which is a folder. I have Meet recordings. This was automatically created because I used Google Meet and I turned on the recording. So that folder was automatically made for me. I also created a resource folder. And then here I have a session number 12 folder, and then I have a Twitter folder. So if I click New, once it loads, it's still spinning. There we go. New, I can click folder right here. So that's step 2. So step 1 is click New. Step 2 is click folder. And then always, always name your folder so you don't lose that folder if it pops up.
So me, I think of this as an online file cabinet with all my folders in there, ready to go for me just to pull my stuff out.
Yep, so there we go. And if there's another way to get a folder, 2 fingers, 1 click, so the right click, and you can also add a new folder that way. So here I go, I can name my folder, and I can call it, let's do Bootcamp, maybe. My computer's being super slow. Don't you hate that? And then you can see on our GIF for step 3, we can move things to folders. So once you have your folder, You can add files to the folder simply by dragging and dropping if it's in Drive, or you can upload a file from that folder.
That's right. Because we all have those zip drives at home and we want to get all of those files off that zip drive and put it into Google so you can open it on any computer once you log into your Chrome. That's one thing I try to teach teachers. Let's get all of those things off our zip drive and put them into Google so you have access everywhere.
So let's see here. Hopefully I can share my screen again to show you how to do this. I have like 4 bootcamp folders because I got impatient. Oh, there's our secret code. We're going to go away from that. So here's our bootcamp folder. Actually, we've got 2 bootcamp folders because I'm impatient. And all you have to do is you can go to New, File, Upload. And I could add one of these files from my computer onto this drive. So once I have one, let's add the bootcamp challenge. It's loading over in the corner, so you can see it trying to upload to my drive. There it is. Click, drag, and drop it.
I know. I just think that is so amazing that you can take what you have on your computer on a zip drive and put it into Google, and it'll even convert it also for you. So that's awesome.
And I can take this folder, that's bootcamp number 2, and I can also drag that to the folder. You can have folders within folders. That is amazing.
It is amazing. Don't you just love Google? Who loves Google? I mean, all the stuff that you can keep in there and it's so organized. That's why I like Drive. All right. What is our secret word?
Our secret word is drive me crazy. So make sure you know.
Don't you think of Britney Spears? Drive me
I know,
crazy. I just want to sing the song.
Well, we have a music video over in the corner, but I couldn't hear it, so I don't know.
I can neither, so maybe we should sing it. No.
So if you go over to level1.globalgeg.org and you type in drive me crazy, you're going to get some points for watching our session.
That's right. Also, I remember like in my classroom too, I used to wear a little headset. And so my principal used to come in and said, "Oh my gosh, are you like Brittany? Because you got your little headset on." She used to dance with you, drive me crazy. So, oh my God, this is brought back memories.
Oh my goodness, this is my childhood.
Oh my goodness, I was in high school.
Next slide, please. Oh.
All right. Oh, how to share. Okay, that is one thing that I do love about Google is that you can share folders and files with others so you can collaborate. And that's what we'll be doing. Like if I say, oh my gosh, Stephanie, I'm working on this. I need you to add. I'm running out of ideas, so I'm going to share that folder with you. It's so easy to collaborate with students, with other teachers. All right, take it away, Stephanie. Show them how to do this.
Okay, so to share a folder, and I share all the time because it saves time. If people, like Melissa shares all of her presentations with me, I don't create those, but I might take credit for them. I might take Melissa's name off and I might say, yeah, I made that and I spent hours on it.
Hey, sharing's caring.
Yeah, sharing is super important, especially in Drive. So you can share an entire folder if I needed to. So let's say me and Melissa, oh yeah, we are working on bootcamp together. We're going to go to this folder called Bootcamp. I can do 2 fingers, 1 click. And I can go to share and I can type in Melissa's name once it pops up. Let's see if it does.
And did you notice that they just changed this, how it looked when you share now?
Look at this new look. They just changed this.
I know, it's so sleek.
Here, I can type in Melissa's email and I can notify her. I can type her a little message. And I can make her the editor, or I can allow her just to view this file. So I'm going to allow her to edit because we're going to be collaborating together on this. I'm going to hit send. I'm going to share it because Melissa is outside of my domain. However, if you're working with a teacher who's in your domain, you won't need to click that box. It will just skip that step. So again, I'm going to click this folder this time because there's always multiple ways to do something. And this time, if I click in, up here, there's like a little arrow. I'm going to click that arrow and I'm going to go to share. I can again type Melissa's name in here, or I can change my sharing settings. And let's say I want everybody to see the folder. So every single document in this folder, everybody will be able to view if they have this link. And then I can click done. You can change this so everybody in your own domain can view the link. You can also share it with everybody or just you. So however you want to keep your documents private, if you share a folder like that, it will do that for all of the documents in that folder. If I just go to this one file, which is the screenshot of this challenge, hopefully some of you saw the challenge. It's worth 75 points. And it's on Twitter, I think, and Facebook. But again, I can do the 2 fingers, 1 click, and I could share just this file just the way I did with my folder. So again, share. I can share with Melissa. I could also copy this link or change it if I don't want everybody to view that piece of work.
I just love that collaborating feature. I don't know if you remember when we used to like send emails out, oh, here's the agenda, and then you change it, and then you'd have to email like the new one, and then you get all these emails, but it wouldn't be updated. It would be like multiple copies. So Google, the collaboration feature is awesome because it changes it on one. No more multiple documents. That used to drive me crazy. All right. So how to rename a folder and change the color. Oh, this is my favorite because I feel like we're getting into the fun stuff when you can add color. And they do even have pink on there. Oh my gosh. So anyway, I can't have multiple pink colors because then it'll be all pink. But anyway, so I love that you can change the colors. When my friend, I think it was Brooke. Brooke has taught me everything. Brooke is with, I'm going to give her a shout out again. Brooke is with Friday Technology, and she has taught me like a lot. So anyway, so let's talk about these colors and how to change the colors on your folders.
Let me go ahead and get my screen up there again. There we go. So you can see I made my global GEG folder red because that is really important, and red always sticks out to me. But if I go over to my bootcamp folder, again, 2 fingers, 1 click, and you get an array of different options. Let's see here.
I can see you have your red one. Sometimes red makes me think, oh, alert, alert, come back to this one.
Right? So here we go. I don't know what color I should pick. I'll pick pink. Is this the pink that you picked, Melissa?
Oh, yes. I love that color.
I'll pick pink for bootcamp. And so I'm going to go ahead and pick that color. As you can see, it said change color down here on the menu. There are so many different choices on here. You can move a folder from this way. Again, Google allows you to do it multiple ways. And you can also rename the folder if I needed to. I can change the color. So I'm going to go ahead and change that to pink. I'm going to go ahead and, again, we can do this multiple different ways. So if I go into my folder, click that arrow again, I can also change the folder color that way too. So I love the multiple ways because whatever way you want to do it, you can do it. I know a lot of students that have disabilities struggle with the 2 clicks. So they can go a different way. And I love that Google provides that accommodation for people.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Use the best way that works for you. That's like we always say. All right. The social media challenge number 10. What did she say? Who is this from? Sherry Edwards. And she has changed her global GEG Bootcamp folder. She's made one and she's used that challenge and she's changed her color red. Shout out to Sherry Edwards.
Nice job, Sherry. We love seeing your tweets and seeing them all amazing. Love the red.
Mm-hmm. Oh, no, the fun stuff. Okay, my favorite. This is so extra. This is not on the test, but it's so extra. And we have to share the extra stuff with you. If you check on your keyboard, so if you're looking at your keyboard right now on a Mac, it's the Windows and on a PC, I'm sorry, it is the Windows keys plus the period. You will pull up an emoji screen, and that's how you can add those to your folders. And once you do that, it takes them out of alphabetical order and moves those to the top. So I like to do that so that way the folders that I use all the time are going to be there at the top. So on a Mac, you go control command spacebar, and it'll pull up the emoji screen as well. All right, show them how it's done, Stephanie.
All right, so I am actually on a Pixelbook. So I am on like a Chromebook. So I'm going to go ahead and take this resource folder. On a Chromebook, it's harder to do the keyboard shortcuts with emojis. So I always go to this website, and I can search any emoji that I might want. So I'm going to search computer. That sounds good. Hit enter. And then I can pick which computer I would like. And I just take this image right here and I click the link and then I copy and paste it.
See,
So
and
there
that's
we go.
awesome that you found a way that you can even do it on a Chromebook.
Yeah, it's a lot easier going to a website. And I'm sure there's an extension and somebody please share it out in the chat. We would love to see your extensions. Or you could use it as one of your challenges that Patrick and Lance gave you where you have to tweet it out.
That's
so on here, I'm
right.
going to rename. So I have my emoji. I copied it from this website. I'm going to the resource folder, 2 clicks, or you can go to the arrow and you can click rename. So here I am. I'm going to put it at the beginning because I want this to pop up first. Did you guys see? It was here. I swear it was here. And it moved all the way here to the first one. So now it has a nice, colorful computer on it.
And see how fast that goes? How he just takes it out of the alphabetical order and puts it to the front. That's what I like about it. So that folder is always right there because that's something I'm going to use. So now this is what we want you to do. We want you to try it. So create a folder and name that folder, add a color, and share it with bootcamp at globalgeg.org. So
And
that is your challenge.
And these tasks that we're giving you are going to be just like the assessment. So it like when I first took the test, I thought it was going to be all multiple choice. So when I got into the test, it was not all multiple choice. You actually have to do. And I love that test because I was like, oh, I can create a folder. I can name it. I can add a color. So if you can do these different tasks, I think you're going to be fine on the exam. So go ahead and try this task.
Yes. Well, another helpful tip, read the directions carefully because I'm like Stephanie, we're both impatient. We're just like, oh, just let me do it. And then I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't read. And my friend Melanie will attest to that. She'll be like, did you read? Okay, let me slow down. It's just because our brains work so fast and like we work faster than we read.
And you can create folders on a mobile app. I think somebody in the chat was asking about that. I prefer to make them on the desktop. You have to take the test on a desktop. You can't take it on a phone. So I usually create my folders, get it all set up, and then I'll move things to folders on my phone if I needed to.
Yes, I'm so glad you said that because I did have one teacher that did take it on a mobile device. And so that's very difficult. And so she wasn't able to finish the test. So please take it on a desktop computer or laptop.
And again, if you have any questions or need any resources that we might have said that you cannot find, feel free to connect with us on Twitter and let us know.
Yes, so hope to see your challenge soon. Tweet, tag us. I'm at Summerford Stars.
And I'm at Mrs. Howell 24.
All right, thank you for joining us. Don't let drive you crazy.
And I think we have a bonus.
Do we have a bonus?
I think there it is. All right, so here is our points for those competitive people out there. I'm like one of those competitive people, but I'm not allowed to be in the leaderboard. I've already been kicked out 3 times, I promise. So you're going to post a picture to Twitter from this session. So find anything from the session that you've learned and use hashtag GlobalGag and hashtag GlobalDrive, and you can earn an extra 50 points.
Oh my goodness, 50 points.
Yeah, so you're going to tweet that, go to the Google form on the website. There's a Google form that has drive bonus session. Enter your evidence, and then you're going to get that secret word and go to level1.globalgeg.org to earn those 50 points.
How fun. Thank you for joining us.
I feel like we need a high five, Melissa.
Okay. Now go sing Britney Spears because we know it's in your head.
Yeah, and change all your file colors to pink.
Yes, pink.
You are awesome. I was singing in the background.
See, I know.
Dancing.
But that was different era. Did you notice I did a different song for Drives Me Crazy? By the way, F1. Okay, that was even older than Steph. I don't think she even knows what song I'm referring to.
I loved Britney Spears. And
Okay,
this is why
I just sang a non-Britney Spears. It's okay.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and the social media challenge was by Amy. This was an amazing session. If you want to organize your life, I know it's summer. A lot of you are like, I don't know what to do next fall. This session, okay, Google, organize my life, will really help you. So
Yes, take the time now.
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Uh-oh.
Doesn't understand.
Oh, you're Google.
She used to go to Google.
She drives me crazy. Now we've got mail. Here we go. Yes. Cannot wait. Abid, Ben, Jared, you are up. We cannot wait to have you. It's going to be an awesome presentation. So take it away, guys. Take it away.
Show us everything you know on Gmail.
Please. We want to learn from you. Just unmute yourself first, Abid. I know you're a tech guy and we love you. Just unmute yourself. Much love, much love. Kat.
That's Stephanie getting her revenge after I had a go at her yesterday. But anyway, get yourself off. Right. Team UK is in the house. GEG UK, everyone. That's it. Yeah. Everyone. So, I'm Abid Patel. I am the leader of GEG UK, and I'm joined here by Ben. And Ben is absolutely awesome. He is the world's youngest Google certified trainer. Let's hear it for Ben in the chat. You know, he's absolutely amazing. But Ben, tell us a bit about yourself.
Hi everyone, so glad that you're here with us today for the Global GEG Bootcamp. So as Abby said, my name's Ben Moore, probably the youngest Google certified trainer in the world right now. So during the day, I'm an associate teacher, lettings and health and safety coordinator for 2 secondary academies in Essex in the UK. So I've been in the field for only from a teacher's point of view for a little while now, but I've been using G Suite for the best part of 7 years. So I look forward to showing you some of the fantastic tips we've got on offer today. So, you know, back to you, Abid. I'll let you lead the fort.
Cool. And we were also supposed to be joined today by Jared, but as you've heard already, he's got a few other pressing issues going on. His wife is due to have a baby anytime. So an early congratulations, Jared, and we hope to see you at a future session, and maybe we'll see some pictures of the little one before the end of today's boot camp. But let's take it away. Gmail, right? Who doesn't love email? Our wonderful tool that we probably use most in our lives. But quick introduction to Gmail. So I know that not everyone might be using Gmail, but like any other email provider that you get on the internet, you've got Microsoft Outlook, and then you've got Yahoo Mail and a whole lot of other email providers. Gmail comes with a free version, gmail.com, which a lot of people might be familiar with, but you've also got the corporate version of Gmail within G Suite for Education. And that's what we're going to be covering today. So if your schools or districts are using G Suite for Education, then you'll be familiar with Gmail. And the thing to remember, like every G Suite for Education utility, you get unlimited space. So the free version of Gmail is limited to 15 gigabytes, which is shared between Google Drive and all of the other bits and pieces within the Google Suite. But you've got G Suite for Education, and that is completely unlimited. So what does Gmail do? Gmail stores your emails safely in the cloud. You can get your messages from anywhere, on any PC, on any computer, any device with an internet connection, either using your web browser, or you can use the Gmail app on your smartphone or your tablet. And you can also quickly organize and find important emails. So if you've got your emails cached, or if they're on your smartphone, then you can always access your emails and read them and create draft emails without the need of an internet connection. So how to get started with Gmail? So as Lance and Patrick showed you earlier, you can get to Gmail by very many multiple ways. You can either go onto the Omnibox and go to google.com, and then in the corner of google.com, you'll see you will normally see a sign-in window. If I open a new incognito window, what you'll see here, I'll go to google.com. And you see here, there's a sign in button, and then I can sign in there and then go to click on the Gmail icon there. I've also got the option of going directly to gmail.com, and then it will ask me, you can sign in to gmail.com from here, or you can even type in mail.google.com. And what that does is that will also take you to the same page. So there's multiple ways of logging into Gmail. But that's and there's also the waffle as well. So if we go to a new tab with Gmail, you can see here, you can click on the waffle, and then you can see the Gmail icon there, and that will also take you directly to Gmail. So when you log into Gmail for the first time, you'll be shown your inbox, and I'll pop into a live demo straight away here. So as you can see here, this is some pretty much similar to what you'll see if you're logging into Gmail for the first time. You'll see there's a couple of emails that you'll get from the Gmail team, and there's a few emails here that I've received from Abid, and list view is the best, which everyone agrees, and we all know how much Stephanie Howell loves London 19. So yeah, absolutely, team list view. I'm all up for that. Right, so that's kind of your inbox there, and we'll go into a bit more detail in what all of the features in the inbox do. But firstly, a shout out to Dara Capel at Dara Capel. Well done on your social media challenge. She talks about using the snooze button in Gmail, which is a really great tool. We'll talk a little bit about what the snooze button does, but great one there, and I'm sure there's some points going out to you. Right, so the menus with Gmail. We'll pop right into, actually we'll go over the menus here. So you've got a few options on how to basically get started with Gmail. So you've got the compose button where you can compose new emails. Then you've got the side panel here that basically shows you what your folders are. So you've got where your emails are, your inbox, where your starred emails go, your snoozed, sent, drafts. There's a whole load of other ones there, your trash or your bin, as we call it in the UK, spam. And then we'll go into labels a bit more. There's also some new features within Gmail quite recently, since we've been doing heavy distance learning. There's options to create Google Meets directly in Gmail as well now, and there's also the chat function. So there's a chat instant messenger built directly into Gmail. If I go into Gmail directly, you can see the features that are here. You've got this little tab here which you can pull down, and when you click on the more icon, you can see a whole load of other folders or labels, as they prefer to call them in Gmail, where you can have your chats and your scheduled items and all of your mail and spam. And there's loads of things which Ben will take a look at in a bit. So at the top of your inbox, you'll find the search bar. So believe it or not, Google are quite well known for search, and search works really, really well in all of the G Suite apps, but it works especially well in Gmail. And Ben's going to be showing you how to search your Gmails in a little bit as well. And then also there was the inbox options. So there's loads and loads of different ways to manage your inbox, and there's loads and loads of different ways to change the view, and we'll show you some of those options as well on how to change your views in your inbox. You can set it up in different ways. Some people might be coming from Outlook, and they'll be familiar with how Outlook does things, and they like how Outlook has the reading pane on the left or the right and on the bottom of the screen. And so we'll be showing you how to change the views in Outlook as well. There's also a few options you'll get when you click on an email. So if I tick the box here, you'll see that there's all of these icons that show you different things that you can do with Gmail. And then if you just hover over the icons, you can see what each button does. So you've got the archive utility, you can report spam, delete, you can mark the email as read, you can snooze the email, add to tasks, which we'll be showing you later on. You can move it to another label. You can apply a particular label, and then there's a few more settings here as well. One thing that I really like to demonstrate is how you can change the label view so that you can have whether you want to have labels or you can have buttons instead. And so the option for that is in the settings. So if I show you again, if you just click on the settings icon in the corner here and then see all settings, you can scroll down and then you've got the option that says button labels, which is somewhere and I can never find it. There you go, button label. And then you can change that to text. You can scroll all the way down, save your settings, and then you'll see once I tick this button now, that changes to text. And again, it's your personal preference, but when you're doing the exam, it might make things easier for you on how you show how you can quickly manage your emails and do the tasks that you're asked to do in the exam.
Brilliant.
Do you want to take it away with priority inbox?
Yeah. So priority inbox. So following on from what Abid said there, so there's different ways in which we can operate our inbox, different menus that we can have laid out. So Abid has his laid out with the primary, social, promotional, and updates columns in his email. I prefer to go for the comfortable plain look. So as you can see from my screen here, can we put my screen up on display?
Yep. We'll put your screen up.
Brilliant, thank you. So as you can see from when my screen appears here, so I have the comfortable look in Gmail as it's known. So mine looks a little bit different to Abid's. Now there's different ways in which you can change this. So Gmail's just put in some new quick settings here for us to change this, but you can do it the old way as well. So I'll show you both of those now. So when you're on your Gmail account, as you are now, you can click on the little settings cog up here in the top right, and you'll get a quick settings menu appear. So here I have the option to have the density options. Well, I've got it as default at the moment on this account. But you have comfortable and compact on here. The options change the themes here, and this is what we're looking at here in particular. So we have inbox type. Now I've got mine on default, which is a little bit customized compared to the standard default. But you can change it to important emails first, unread emails first, starred emails first, priority inbox, which is what we're going to look at now, and multiple inboxes as well. So if I just click on the priority inbox setting here, if I click on that, it will refresh my Gmail like this. Okay. And now you'll see that I have the important and unread section at the top, the starred emails here, and everything else at the bottom. So I made a little bit of a mistake when setting up for today's session. I actually run on inbox 0, and it's actually really difficult to do a Gmail session when you're on inbox 0. So I've shot myself in the foot with that one, really. But I'll do my best to show you how it would work anyway. So as you can see here, I've got 3 emails at the top that have been unread at the moment. So they're showing as important and unread under here. Now, if I was to star one of these emails, so I could star this GEG UK one here. Let's actually read that just so it's just so it can refresh and go to the starred column. Typical, it's not going to do it now, but it should appear into the starred section underneath. It would normally appear here. So let me just try and refresh my page, see if that helps. There we go. So you can now see that that starred email is now underneath the starred column. Now I can also close these up just by clicking on them. So if you still like that inbox 0 view, you can still click on those and hide them just so you have 3 columns here. So lots of different things you can do there. So you can see the important emails at the top and emails, and you have starred everything else. If you've got lots of unread emails that you keep in your inbox, you can just have them at the bottom here. So it's very much personal preference with Gmail. You can have whatever you want to have. There's no right or wrong answer in terms of how you have your personal email set up. But we're just showing you some of the ways in which you can operate that. So I'm just going to hop back over to the slide deck now. So the next thing we're going to have a quick look at is how to search your mails. This is something that Abby was talking about just a few minutes ago. So Google is actually renowned for its search tools, and this is where we're going to have a look at how that works in Gmail now. So as you can see, we've got some GIFs in our presentation, but this will be shared out at the end. So please feel free to watch back over those and see how you can do those tips and tricks we're going through today at your own pace in the future. So I'm going to just hop back into my emails here. Now you'll see at the top I have this search mail bar at the top. So I can actually click on here. And I can search for particular people like I have here. I can search for certain words or phrases. Okay. But I've also got an arrow on the right hand side here. So it says show search options. Now I can open that up and it gives me a wider range of search tools. So again, I can select who the email is from. So I could decide I want to see all emails from Abid. Okay. I've got all emails sent to a certain person. It contains a certain subject, includes certain words. So I could say include certain words, GEG, UK in this instance, and just click on search here. Now this will search all of my inbox through all of my folders or labels, as Gmail likes to call them here, and it'll pick up all of that, all the information I've got from Abid. So you can just see how powerful that would be. You can search for anybody or a company name even, and just pick up everything that's in your email, despite whether it be in your main inbox or in the labels on the side. So just a nice quick tool to find things that you've maybe hidden away in the past to tidy things up a little bit. So next thing is filters. So filters are so important, especially at the moment. For those of us using Google Classroom, you're probably getting inundated with emails from Google Classroom. So there's a way we can tidy that up and go straight into a folder on the left-hand side. Now, on this account, I don't have a Google Classroom set up, so I'm going to show you how to filter from a certain person. But the same concept works for Google Classroom as well. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to one of these emails that we've got in our email. So you'll have one from Google Classroom. Actually, I might have some Google Classroom emails here. Yeah, I do. So, for example, let's do it with a Google Classroom email here. So you can see I've got a Google Classroom email. Now, I'd like to filter emails from this particular, well, from Google Classroom. So what I can do is I'll go to the traffic lights at the top. I know Lance and Patrick were going through some different acronyms or things that people call these 3 dots. I call them traffic lights, and that's the right way. So that's what I'm going to call it. So we're going to click on traffic lights here, and then you can filter messages like these. Okay, that comes up as one of your options. So that's one way that we can filter. Okay, so if you were to click on that, you'll get this screen appear. Okay, now each classroom has its own unique link that you'll have at the start here. So no reply at this link is a certain Google Classroom. Now, you could do it for each individual classroom if you wanted to, or you could just filter the whole lot in one hit. So to filter all of them in one hit, we're just going to remove this first bit. So this bit before the @classroom.google.com. So we'll just get rid of that straight away. Okay, so you can see it's from classroom.google.com. Now, this could be a person in particular. So I could filter all emails from Abid into Abid's own folder if I wanted to. Or all emails from Stephanie into her own label if I wanted to. So you can see this is going to be really versatile. And I've got some set up on the side of my emails here, as you can see, for Google Trainer, GEG UK, etc., and Global GEG. So once I'm at this point, I can actually click the Create filter. Okay, and I have lots of different options appear. Now, this again is really personal to how you want your inbox to operate. I've got a few that I personally like to use, and this does pull me across into the next slide, actually, about talking about labels and filters, which I will go back to in just a second. But there's a few options here I want to run through. So you've got the option to skip the inbox, so you don't get notifications in your immediate inbox. It just goes directly to the folder. Now, you can see I've got that set up with my Google Trainer emails here, so you can see I've got 35 unread in there. So that's how that works. I'll just click inbox. Now, you used to have it marked as red. You could star it, so it'll go into your starred section on your priority inbox here. You also got the option to apply labels. So labels are known as, you know, to you and I as folders, but they're folders in Gmail. So they're just a little bit funny, call it labels. So we'll go with that. Now I can choose an existing label that I've got. So I can filter all of these into a particular label that I've already created, or I can create a new one here by clicking new label. So I'm just going to call this Gmail demo, just for the purpose of this, because I've already got a Google Classroom one set up. Okay. Now I have the option to nest this under another label that I've already got. So I might nest that underneath Classroom just for this instance. But you don't have to do that. It's very much, again, personal to you. So once you've called it whatever you want to call it, you can click Create. And you'll see that then applies here as well. And I had the little label pop up on the side. So again, just a little bit of automation, making things a bit quicker and easier for you. Okay. Now we have the option to forward to an address, delete straight away, never send to spam, send as a template, always mark as important or never mark as important. Now, if you're using a certain type of inbox, you can categorize into primary, social, updates, etc. on there as well. And my favorite feature on the whole of the creating filters element of Gmail is also apply filter to 8 matching conversations. Now, why is this so important? It scans your email to find everything from this one address. And instead of you doing the task for every single email you have, it pulls everything through in one hit. So again, that automation, making your life nice and easy and getting to that inbox zero that we're all after. So that's the person. Well, for me personally, I have these 3 settings on. And once I've got that, I'll just click Create. Now, I will have to refresh my inbox for this to go through. But if I now go to my label on the left-hand side here, I'll see that all these emails now appear within this label. All right, so this is no longer going to be in my inbox. This is all going to be in this label on the side. So that's just a very quick overview on looking at filters. So let's hop back to this presentation.
And Ben, I think it's good to just point out that filters in Gmail work similarly to what people might be used to or know as rules in Outlook.
Yes.
So you've got your filters, which is like when you create a filter on an email, that's the equivalent of what a rule would do in Outlook. And then likewise, you've got your labels in Gmail, and that's kind of like what a folder does in Outlook. Yeah. And the advantage that labels has over folders is when you move an email in Outlook into a folder, you're physically moving that email into the folder. And so you can't have an email in multiple folders. But with Gmail, you can have lots and lots of labels, and then you can have loads of different labels applying to a particular email. So I might have received an email from Ben through Google Classroom. So then I can then label that email as Ben, as Google Classroom, as school, work, whatever I want to, and I can have as many labels as I want. So I can find it in multiple places, but only have to have the one copy of the email, and it helps you to keep organized. Absolutely. Check the video that Stephanie Howell pointed out in her session, where we did the OK Google Organize My Life, and that basically goes into a lot more detail as to what you can do with Gmail. But what we're focusing on here is the stuff that you'll need to pass your exam.
100%. Now, I just might be worth mentioning here. I can't really relate to the Outlook stuff because I'm just too young, to be brutally honest. So, you know, I'll rely on you for that stuff, Abid. So thanks for chipping in with that, my friend. So the next slide, then we're going to look at again, creating labels. You've looked at how to do this from filtering already, but how do we create just from Gmail itself? So what you're going to do is you're going to go back to your Gmail, and you'll see you'll have all your labels already on the side here. So you can click on this more icon over here, which is a drop down, and you'll see all the ones I've hidden already. But right at the bottom here, just sneaking in, you've got that create new label. So this works in the same way as how I showed you a minute ago about creating a new label. Just type in the name, and you can nest under whatever you want to, or you can keep it separate as well. And going back to linking slightly with Melissa and Stephanie as well, colors on these. So if you like things to be organized by color, Gmail works for you as well. You've got that option just by hovering over each label, going to the traffic lights, and then seeing the label color at the top. You can change that or add a custom color if you want to as well. So really customizable, just helps keep everything in one place, nice and tidy for you in your inbox. Okay. So the last thing I just want to quickly run through is the tasks settings. So, well, not settings, sorry, the tasks used within Gmail. So tasks is a way of putting things across into your to-do list. Tasks is great for having things organized, showing you what you need to do throughout the day. Now, in this account, I don't have anything set up at the moment because this is only a demo account for me. In my work account, I use it all the time. So what I could do, anything that I want to, I need to do over the weekend, but it's coming up to the weekend, I've got the option to snooze it, or I can put it into tasks that's out of my inbox. So as you can see on the sidebar here, you have calendar, keep, and tasks all integrated within your Google Mail. Now this does apply through other G Suite applications as well, such as Google Drive, Google Docs, Sheets, and Slides. There's probably a few I've missed off there, to be honest, but they're the ones I can think on the top of my head. So by clicking the tasks here, this opens up in a little sidebar for us, and actually operates within Gmail. So we don't have to hop out into the Tasks app. It all integrates within, which is really neat and tidy. So what I'm going to do, I've got this task from GEG UK. I need to do this at some point, but I don't want to do it right now. I'm going to do it tomorrow morning. I'd like my inbox to be clean and tidy. So what I can do is I can just drag this email by left clicking and dragging straight across and dropping it in this box here, drop to create a new task. Now this actually creates a task within here. It gives the title as the subject of your email, and actually links your email within this as well. So I can go in and edit and do the things I want to do, add some details, add a date and time that it's due, for example. But the most important thing is I can access that email directly from tasks. So I could hide this away in a folder over here, forgotten where I've put it. But don't worry, I can just come back over to tasks over here and just click on that email directly, and it'll put it up for me. Okay, so I'll get rid of that just for the time being, but you can see just how that works. You can just click on that email and it brings it straight back up on your screen, no matter where it is inside your Gmail. All right, so Abby, do you want to take away the next bit about our social media code? I don't know if you want to put your screen back on.
Yeah, I will put my screen back on.
Hey, Abid, there's one question that keeps coming up that you might want to mention. I don't want to ruin your secret, but people are asking those automatic categories that come up that might be in their Gmail. People were wondering if those automatic categories are the same as labels. So I just wanted to let you clarify that for some people that might be needing that within their Gmail.
Okay, sure, no worries. We'll take a look at the categories. So when you log into Gmail for the first time, you'll see three categories here. You've got primary, you've got social, and you've got promotions. And what happens is Gmail uses artificial intelligence to basically it scans your emails, and it will decide based on its artificial intelligence whether your email is about something that is social. So as it says here, I don't have enough emails in this inbox, but it says here emails from social networks, media sharing sites, dating services, and other social sites will be shown here. and it will scan through your emails and basically start to show them in here. And then you've also got promotions tab, and so deals, offers, and other marketing emails will be shown here. And it's all part of what makes Gmail really, really useful. Is there is a whole load of really, really clever machine learning that's happening in the background, and that basically is what will categorize the emails into those tabs. But they are different from labels, so they aren't labels themselves. They're just what's known as categories. And like what Ben demonstrated at the start, you've got the option here for your priority inbox, and then if you go into the customize option, you've got all of these you've got a few options here to sort of change those views, and a few bits and pieces like that. So that's the Gmail categories, which is different from the Gmail Gmail labels. So that's what that is. Let's pop back into the slides. So we've gone through a few of these things. Right, the secret code, what everyone's been waiting for, is snail mail, because we've all been familiar with the post in the past, and email is the super instant way of getting over that. We're going to quickly look at a few advanced features in Gmail. So these aren't features that are going to come up in the exam, but these are a few things that are really useful to know. So you've got signatures. I'll quickly pop in to the settings again. So you just click on the new settings button and then see all settings. And then if you scroll down right to the bottom, you've got an option here to create a signature. You can create a new signature. So I'll just call this test. And then you can have your signature and you can put that in. You can now in Gmail have multiple signatures. So you can have a signature for work or for family or for whatever. You can format your signature how you want it to be. You can say whether you want new emails to use your signature and whether you want your signature to come out with replies or forwards. You can do that however you want. And then if I save that for now, if I go into compose, you can see it's automatically put the signature in at the bottom of the compose message. So that's email signatures. And then you've also got out of office. So in American Gmail, also US language Gmail settings, it'll probably be known as vacation responder here in the UK, Team GEG UK. We call it out of office auto reply. And so basically you can just simply you can set your out of office reply to on. You can say your first day, so I'm out of the office from today, and then you can also set your last day. So, and then you can set your subject and say I'm not working, and my message will be need a rest. And you basically just save those settings, and then what will happen, you'll see the yellow bar come up at the top that says I'm out of the office, I'm not working. You can change your settings. You can also choose to end your out of office there straight away. So that's just a few really useful settings. Like we said, there are so many settings in Gmail that you want to go. You might want to take a look at. These are kind of the basic things that you'll sort to need to know for the to prepare you for the level 1 exam. But absolutely, there are so many sessions that we've done already that go into a lot more detail about how you can achieve inbox zero and really use Gmail to reorganize your inbox and really absolutely take control. We'll be taking questions at the end, and I know that there's been a whole load of our wonderful team in the background doing a whole load of stuff with answering the questions. So thank you to them. I know everyone is loving the leaderboard, and there's loads of points to be earned. But if you want a bonus 250 points,
that's a lot of points.
250 points that could really take you to the top. If you follow me on Twitter, I'm Abid_Patel. I have a riddle up there which has stumped everyone. And for 250 points, if you can solve that riddle, that might really take you to the top of the leaderboard. So absolutely, go check it out on Twitter. There's loads of points to be gained, and I think that's pretty much it for us. And I know everyone's looking for a selfie with Team GEG
Oh,
UK.
let me go out so you can.
Yeah, absolutely. So for those of you who have flash photography, which is everyone these days, let's get those selfies in for Twitter. Tag me and Ben in. Yeah. Absolutely.
I think we gave them a good amount of time. There were some people who were wondering at the end of this, they were asking, like, what is a badge? So when you're hearing all these people talk about badges, as you start to earn, like, if you take your level 1 test, you're going to get a little badge that says level 1. And you might see that in some of our introductions. And a lot of people, you should be, when you achieve something, you should be quite proud of it. So some people like to have that in their signature, and it just automatically puts it at the bottom of all of their emails. But there are lots of kinds of badges out there that you can earn and be proud of. With that, we're happy to welcome our next presenters. Who's coming up? Let me see. Who do we have? Ben, you're staying on, right?
Yeah.
I can hear you for another half an hour.
And we have Edith today, so she's going to be joining us as well.
All right. Thank you so much, Abid, and we will wish you adieu. But thank you so much. That was an awesome session. I think people were saying their minds were blown. When Ben was dragging that over to task, everybody was like, oh,
yes.
Changed my life.
That's a big light bulb, I think, for a lot of people.
Yeah. Okay, let's bring Edith into this fun, and then Amber, myself.
Guys, you've got the world's youngest Google certified trainer for another half an hour. Right. I mean,
how can I compete?
We should do it right now, all of us.
We love you too, Edith. All right, you rock it. Let's go.
All right.
Brilliant. So, Edith, do you want to start off on this one?
I am happy to go ahead and introduce myself. I am my name is Edith Fogarty. I am a Google certified trainer, and I'm a technology integration facilitator at a tiny little school in Vermont. And so, unfortunately, our third amigo here is, as everybody has mentioned, still off welcoming his 4th child. So we will try to cover his topics as best we can, but I'm sure we'll do great today.
Yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so we're going to talk today about Google Calendar. And Google Calendar is one of those tools that can make your life amazingly easy if you know all the features that are involved in it. And I don't know if your school is anything like mine, but I think it's actually underutilized. We use a lot of the tips and tools that are in it, but it integrates with your Drive. It allows you to easily share documents with meeting attendees. It allows you notifications. It even syncs with Google Maps, and so you can find the location of a meeting pretty easily if it's not within your building, or if it is. And so, let's see. Ben, did you want to show them how to get there?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So if we could chuck my screen back on. Okay, brilliant. So first thing we're going to have a look at is how to get to Calendar. So again, lots of different ways we can get there. As we've heard throughout all of today's sessions, lots of different ways to get to every Google application. So the first one I'm going to show you is going to the waffle in the top right-hand corner over here. And then we can find Calendar in our drop-down menu here. Now, it may not be exactly at this position for you. It may be further down. But I'm going to show you a little something here. This isn't to do with the exam, but well worth knowing. If it is further down, you can just click on that icon and drag it up and rearrange your icons here. So if it isn't where you'd like it, if you'd like it right at the top, then you can drag it there and click on Calendar directly from there. So that's just one way of getting to Calendar. Okay. Now you could also type in Calendar up here. So as you can see, I've been on it before, so it will load up for me. But if I just type in calendar.google.com, that will load up there for me as well. And one other way you can get to it is actually through your Gmail. So you can go into your Gmail and use this calendar sidebar up here. Click on that, and then you'll see your calendar appear. Obviously, that's a smaller condensed version, but you can access that from your Gmail. So that's 3 different ways in which we could get to our Google Calendar. So Edith, do you want me to take the first one, or do you want to take the first one?
I will talk about how to make an event. So if you can share my screen back up. Okay, so once again, there are several different ways of making events on a calendar. One of the most obvious is this create button, and that allows you to click, add a title, and then you can change your dates. If you needed to pick something that wasn't obviously on your screen, you can change your times. The default is to set the time. The differences between the times is 15 minutes, and so if you change your time, you can adjust the start and end time. Right here, you could add guests if you wanted to, and I'll show you a little bit more about all of these intricacies of these settings in just a moment. So I'm going to discard that one. So option 1 is clicking on the big button there. The other option is to pick your date whenever it is that you wanted something to happen. And if you just click in your calendar, it automatically creates an event. If you just click, it automatically gives you the default time frame. So this one went from 9 to 9:15. If I were to click and drag, it would make a longer event. And then I could start adding my information. If I click on more options down at the bottom, then that brings me to a window with much more detail. And so once again, I've picked my date, I have my time, I have my, this is a 1-day event in this case, but you could make it a multiple day event if you wanted to. You just have to adjust your time frames on that. Oops, I happened to pick a date that was before that. That's what they were alerting me to. So Google tries to give you some help on that one. If you wanted your events to repeat throughout time, you could decide that you wanted it to be on the 4th Thursday of the month, you want it to be annually, whatever that would be. The other important piece of this is if this is a meeting and you need to invite people, you can click on the add guest and you get to pick who it is that you want to invite. And then down at the bottom, you also have the ability to add files to that. So you can add an attachment if you wanted to. You can add descriptions and links to different information that the meeting attendees might need to know. And this piece here, I feel like, is hugely valuable and one that I know that my particular school district doesn't use very much, but it's the ability to share those files with anybody who attends those meetings is hugely beneficial as far as I'm concerned. The other piece that's helpful as you try to organize is to set notifications. So be aware that if you start using Calendar to set up a schedule for yourself, for example, it automatically sets notifications to pop up in your window every 10 minutes. So I know that the teachers at my school, they set up their daily schedule and I show them how to make one event and repeat it throughout the week. And then, the first week of school, they're calling me saying, how do I get the pop-ups to stop in my corner? So that is where this piece is, that you can just click that X if you don't want any notifications. If you do want a notification, you can select it as an actual pop-up notification and that shows up in your window, or it can be an email to remind you. And you can set your time frame on that one. You can set whether it's 10 minutes or hours or days, obviously, but so that you're aware of how to turn those off if you start to use that setting. Brilliant. That's a lot of information, isn't it?
It's good though. It's good. It's important to know. So I think it's been a game changer for staff when setting weekly meetings or staff briefings, for example. This is perfect for exactly that. So.
And the other tool that my school uses, and this is something that you need to talk to whoever has control of the Google admin settings in your school, is the room settings. And so at my school, you can see that I've got a variety of mobile carts and a variety of rooms that people can book for a certain event. And so if a teacher wants to use those different rooms, they can see whether it's available. They can book it for a specific time period or a repeating event if they need it for a class on a weekly basis. And so that's something just to kind of an advanced feature to talk to your Google admin to make life a little easier so that you're not fighting over mobile carts.
Brilliant. Right. So I think the next thing then, we might have a little code word, I think, coming up actually.
I think we do. I don't know
Oh,
if Steph get our
So should we
going
chuck
back
that
to your screen.
Yeah. Right. So the code here for a few extra points again. I know we're being so generous here. UTC rocks. Now, I need you to tag Stephanie Howe in this because she loves UTC. So make sure you're tagging her when you if you put anything in the comments right now. As you can see, she's popped in. She loves that. So UTC rocks is our code. Yeah, make sure you get that one on. So looking at the next section then. So creating a new calendar. Now, why is this important? Well, you get within every G Suite account, you get your own calendar built in anyway. So you can see here, I've got on my screen, I've got my one here for Ben Moore. Now, what if I'd like another one? What would be the purpose of that? Well, you can actually create ones for your team. You can create ones for your department maybe, or for your family even. So you've got lots of options there. Now, I've got one down here. Sorry, no, that one's from, yeah, it's one I've done before. So you can see I've got a training with BM calendar here. Now, that's just one I use for my YouTube stuff. So I'm going to show you how to create a new calendar now. So underneath here, you'll see other calendars and you have a plus icon. Now, you can see it says add other calendars. Now, just by clicking on that plus, I have a few options here. So I can subscribe to somebody else's calendar, which we'll look at in a few minutes. Creating a new calendar, browsing calendars of interest. You can subscribe via URL or importing a calendar from somewhere else as well. So for the purpose of this, we're just going to create a new calendar here. So I'm just going to click create new calendar. Now this will pop up with a new window like this and give me the option to name this calendar. So I'm just going to go with, should we go with UTC rocks here? Because that's our code word. So I'm just going to chuck in UTC rocks. It gives me the option to give a description of this as well. So I'm just going to say this is Stephanie's favorite time zone. Okay, and then I have the option here to select time zones as well. So I've got mine for UK time, but you can select from lots of different time zones on here as well. So just so you're aware that you can do that. Okay, now from here, you'll see that big blue create calendar button. So you can click create calendar. And what will happen now, it will take you back to your calendar home screen. You'll have to give it just a second. It's deciding to be very slow. But as you can see now, I've got a UTC rocks calendar down here on the left-hand side. Now, at the moment, this is toggled on. So at the moment this is selected, so I see all events created in this calendar. So I can see that's selected on by this little green tick here. And again, you can customize all of these colors if you want to. For if you like your color coordination stuff, you can select your colors here and custom colors at the bottom as normal. Now, what you can also do is you can turn that on and off so you don't see the events. So I can turn off my calendar. And I can put it back on again just by clicking that button. So you can have all these different calendars on just by toggling off that tick switch there. Okay. Now I'm just going to hop back over here. So next thing is sharing a calendar. So sharing a calendar. Why is that important? Well, if I wanted to share a calendar with a team member, maybe I'd like to share it with Edith. Maybe I'd like to share my calendar with Edith so she can see what's going on. You know, what I'm going to be doing in my calendar so we can organise a meeting at a time we're both free. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hop back into the calendar now. So I can go back over to my traffic lights. We're having a bit of a repeating theme here, aren't we? You're seeing traffic lights everywhere we go at the moment. But we're going to go to our traffic lights icon next to the calendar we want to share. Okay. Now I'm going to click on that and I have the settings and sharing option appear. So if I click on settings and sharing, it will open up my settings for my particular calendar. Now, if I scroll down just a little way down, I'll see the share with specific people tab. Now I can add people or groups to this just by typing in their email or name in this box. So I'm just going to share it with Edith here, and I'll have a permissions option here as well. Now it's a little bit hard to see on the UI here, but you can actually click on this little drop down arrow, and you have the options to make changes to my events. So that's particularly good if you've got people making events for you. Make changes to events and manage sharing options. See all events and see only free and busy times. So I'm going to say to Edith, I'd like you to see all of my events. I can just click send. And that will send an email to Edith, and she'll be able to access my calendar and see all my events in there. Now, I can also change her permissions at any time just by going back to the same page and clicking on the drop down and changing her access here. All right. So that is very, very brief how you can share calendars with people or groups. But I'm going to hand back over to Edith now, who's going to look at the next bit with us. Here. All right. So back to you, Edith.
Okay. I'm going to catch up here. Oh, you're going to make me talk about tasks, huh? So Google Calendar does integrate with tasks as well. I think this was originally Jared's to talk about.
Maybe, I'm not sure.
I hope that baby's cute. So in our Google Calendar is my...
Yeah, can we put Edith's screen on?
I don't even know where... Oh. So some people are probably looking for their task.
Edith, can you share your screen? I think we lost it.
Oh, I forgot to. Sorry. You did. There we go.
And we're the tech guys, suppose. What tech?
Of course. Okay. So tasks is in calendar is actually hidden a little bit. Some people will are probably currently watching going, what do you mean there's tasks here? So this little side panel can pop up and pop back. You can see where I am. And so here's your task menu for Keep. And so if I were to open this up, you know, these are some of the obvious tasks that I have. And if I were to add a task and edit it, I can add titles and I can put details. Obviously, I can add dates and times to put it on my calendar. So if I was to decide that on Monday at 8 a.m., of course, Eastern Daylight Time, I need to, oops, I picked the wrong way. I want to email Steph, then, you know, that will show up on my calendar. Okay. And so if I were to come back here, there's my event, and I can take a look at what I need to get done. Have anything to add to that, Ben? I feel like I did a lousy job on that one. I don't use tasks often, honestly.
So
I'll confess.
That's all right. So just something you can, just an organizational point in tasks. Just relating, this will tie in with both Gmail and calendar here, but you can actually separate into different lists. So you may have a work list, or you may have a, I don't know, a to-do list, or you could even use it for personal things like your shopping list and stuff like that. So you can actually organize into different lists. It doesn't all have to be in one list there. So you can use one account for different lists and different things you've got to do. Just something I wanted to add in there.
And that's on this. My students and I call this the meatball menu, so we can add another term to this. I've also heard it called the snowball menu. So, but to stay with the food theme, the meatball menu, and the sideways dots are the meatball sub menu in our school. So there's our settings for our list.
Yeah. Okay. So, is there any particular questions that are cropped up at all just before we sort of go on any further at all? Is there any obvious questions that have been asked a few times?
I don't know. Is Steph monitoring that chat to find out here? Let's see.
We're running a little bit short on. Short on.
We are. We're ahead of schedule. Do we get an extra star for that one?
You're super efficient. You know that happens when you're like timely with a calendar. You know, I feel like it goes with that. There were a couple questions that I think some of them will come up when we're talking in just a few minutes, but I don't want to spoil that, just about how to sign up and some of those big ones. But some people were asking maybe the difference when like having Google Calendar on their phone. And then one clarification point that might be necessary. Some people were asking about taking the exam. You will need to be on, not on a phone to be able to take that, right? Or a mobile device. So you will need a computer so that you can access everything that you need to. And so that's one point of clarity. But some people were asking, is this an option? Can I download something that would let me have Google Calendar on my phone?
I actually have Google Calendar on my iPhone. I'm gonna once again. This is like confessions that I don't remember how I figured it out. I know that I Googled it. I'll give a pitch to Google, and I happen to have my. Let's see.
I mean, the thing I love most, Edith, I hope I'm not cutting you off. The thing I absolutely love most about having calendar on my phone is I can actually have all of my calendars, because some people were saying they have 10 calendars, and I am one of those people. I have something for work, I have stuff for personal, I have stuff for Google, like global GEG. So on my phone, it's the one place where I can easily see all of them, and each thing has its own little color. I can take off little bits if I don't want to see it, but it does make it really nice that each thing you're able to see it all.
And I think I've added mine to my personal Gmail account instead of here, my work Gmail account. But there is a way. I'll try to find it and maybe pop it in the chat after we finish up here for people to add their iPhone calendars to their list of Gmail calendars here. And the one thing that I always like to make sure that people at my district know is that when Ben shared how you can change the settings, the share settings on your calendar. Once you get a Gmail account within a domain, the default setting on that is that it's public and searchable. So if I were to click in my search box, I can search for any of my colleagues there and see their calendar. You can go in. I mean, if you're savvy enough to go in and change that, they can't see all of the events. But if you wanted to have a public calendar and a personal calendar, just be aware that you need to create the personal calendar and not put personal events on your public calendar.
And then one note, I know we were using some terms that maybe some people might not be familiar with. So if you don't know the term domain, right? So if you're at a school already, that part that sits after the and sign is the domain for your school, right? So mine is LGSUHSD, like the longest acronym ever, but it is, right? So you might have a domain there. If you are part of our trainer community or another place, or you have your own domain, that's that piece that sits after it. So when people have been saying that, it's the stuff after that, the ampersand, the at sign, sorry, wrong symbol.
I saw one question in the chat that I was going to ask, because I know they had asked the question, if you delete the email, does the task delete as well? Because they were wondering, they never used tasks, so they were wondering about that.
Good question. So, I mean, I've personally deleted some by accident before, and obviously they stay in your bin for up to 30 days, I believe. I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong, but it was staying there for 30 days. So, as far as I'm aware, if you want to access that task within 30 days and it's in the bin, it will still let you access it. If it's been deleted, I'm not entirely sure it will let you back onto it. So I'm not personally deleted one completely and tried it. Maybe that's something I could try, but I know it will stay there for at least 30 days.
I know another question was, is there a max number of calendars that you can make? And we have never reached a limit, and we've made a lot.
And if you are somebody who manages Google Classrooms, I have Google Classroom calendars up the wazoo because teachers share their calendars, their classrooms with me. So that default makes a calendar. And then so you can hide those within your calendars if you wanted to. I mean, you can.
We're getting some stuff in the chat.
That's in any of your settings over here. You can just hide this from your list. It doesn't have to be. Right now this is not live because it's not toggled on or off. But if I click hide from list, then that makes that calendar go away. It doesn't delete it for me. It just makes it disappear from my cluttered list on the side.
Yeah, that's what people were saying is no, it doesn't delete the task. They're coming up and they're saying, so good to know. Good to know. It doesn't delete it.
Oh, we got some good tips. I liked it. Some people were saying, like, keep in mind when you're using what calendar. Oh, where was that comment? I just saw. Okay, Diane, I heart you, Diane. Okay, even in your own domain, remember, like, you might want to separate out your personal from your professional. And I think some people don't realize that. So having a separate place so that, because I know in my school, they like everybody to be able to see when they're trying to make an appointment and look at what would work for multiple people. But yeah, do we need to know when you're getting a haircut? I don't know if everybody is during this time. I have not. It's been a long time. But, do we need to know that right now? Probably not. So you'll want to keep those because maybe you need to make sure those things are outside of your work hours so nobody's getting upset with you. And then the other piece is there were a couple questions about like, what if you don't have some of these things? So one of the things Amber and I were going to mention to you in terms of signing up for the exam, and it was mentioned in the chat, but in case you didn't hear it, when you sign up for the test, you're going to be given an email address. So you're going to be given kind of a fake account, and that's one that you can only use for the exam, and it will contain everything that's in the waffle that you'll need for the exam. So you won't be using your personal account for it. So if you don't have some of these set up, or you haven't been using them in your own, that it will already be set up. But you will need, like, if you don't currently use Gmail or you don't currently use Google Calendar, they will be there in this account. So you will need to know how to use it in order to pass level 1.
And I know that with a lot of people,
and to clarify, you get that account.
Yes.
And, as you get started on your test, it's not like they give it to you to practice.
Correct.
Yes. I know that with a lot of people, they tell you to open an incognito window, but then also to log out of all your personal accounts so that you're only in that account, because you don't want things to get downloaded or get uploaded to your personal account, because then they won't be in the trainer account. And that sometimes happens to people. And so just make sure that you have signed out of all your personal accounts and you're only working in that exam Google Drive account.
Okay, I'm sorry. This comment, I couldn't stop laughing when I saw it. Michelle, you are cracking me up.
My shadow.
Yeah. Behind the little Ben.
Oh, no.
I didn't see it. I had to notice that.
It's just shiny cloth back wardrobes which reflect out onto my my doors here. I'm in a summer house, sort of summer like a summer cabin thing. I call it the bus. The sports bus.
that was still getting me. I didn't notice it until they said it, and then I was like, oh, this boot camp is going in this direction. Okay. But going back to Amber's comment of, yes, it is really true, logging out of everything. And I am someone, I'm notorious. I'm logged into many things. I think Lance brought that up about which account are you in. Yeah. And when I took the exam for the first time, it was opening up in the wrong
I have
email address. So when I went to click on something and it was auto set because I had it synced with my school one. And even though I was logged into the right place, it was opening up automatically in the wrong one. And so I needed to make sure I was using incognito and that I was logged out of everything else, because the last thing you want when you're working really hard on an exam is to feel like, oh no, what's going on? Something's wrong. And so the last thing you want is for you to feel lost. And I think if you just give yourself that space to do it, so everything else is gone, you're logged into the one that they need you to be logged into, then you're good to go.
Absolutely.
And okay, so with that, I think we've got a couple minutes officially, so we'll keep going back through. I think there are a couple questions, but our people that are in the chat have been amazing from Global, so I just want to say thank you so much. And so the signing up for the exam, we are about to talk about that, but I just want to make sure that there was nothing else from Ben or Ben or Edith before we start to move to our last couple bits. And then we'll be talking about the differences in the exam options at the moment. So we're going to go over all that stuff. And if you're feeling pumped, keep in mind that this is day 1, right? So this is day 1. We've gone over 4 different aspects of G Suite. And next time we'll be going over a few more. So I know that there were some questions. Patricia Sutton, I saw you on here from my school. And she was saying that like her area of focus is needing some more support in sheets. And I hear that from a lot of teachers, right? Like maybe you are really comfortable with using some of these initial pieces. We wanted to start here. And if you are not, then this was the great place to begin. If you are, then maybe it was a warm up, a ramp up. You should feel really good. If you need even more support with these, that's what Monday is for. And you can also watch the videos. So I would say wherever you are is where you are, and we're here to help you. And then next time, we're going to be going a little bit deeper, right? It'll still be kind of at the same level and pace, but we'll be going to things that are housed within Drive and some of the specific G Suite tools that you'll get to there that will take it to that next level. So if you're not familiar with forms or sheets, and you haven't been using them as deeply, then the next session is really going to go into how to do that. And I would say those were things that when I took the exam, I felt like, okay, I know some of this stuff. And then all of a sudden they asked me to do that pivot table or that one thing that you're like, oh, I haven't used that in my class.
No.
Good to know. Some things, and I would say once I learned it, I realized, wow, that was a useful skill. It might not have been something I knew to know before, but now that I know it, I can use it. So we hope that some of that is helpful. Some people are even asking, like, what is the test that we're talking about? So Ben and Edith, are we good to transition? I want to give people a chance to say bye to you if we're good.
Yeah, thanks everybody for being awesome, and we'll see you next week as well.
Yay! All right.
Absolutely.
Great session, you two. All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to be taking you back into our presentation. And again, that slide deck. Oh, sorry, I'm assuming some of my backstage people are going to help me take people off. Thank you, Luis. So I'm going to take you back into the slide deck, which again is going to be available after this presentation is done. We have one more code word for you. Oh, this one cracks me up. So the code word is code phrase, I don't know. Okay, and you make sure to include the spaces in there. So I don't know. So you feel that way. But I think all of these people hopefully have helped you to know a great deal today. And again, if you need to rewatch it, that's why it's being recorded, to help you.
I wanted to also say too, Steph, I know that you were talking about office hours on Monday, and I saw in the chat a really great thing that someone had mentioned. I think it was Dana. And she said about keeping all your notes in Google Keep while you're going through this presentation, those things down, and then saving those for office hours on Monday. So that way you can address all those things that maybe you're feeling not so great about or need some extra support on. So if you have
that is such a great tip. And I think some of us, like our natural note-taking style, or when we have a question, okay, I am so a Post-it person, right? So like I sit here and I'm like, oh, that's what I do. Some people like to do that digitally, right? And so, so I think many of the tips might help you. Whatever way helps you to jot down whatever you need to ask about, we are here for you. So please, that's what Monday is all about. Mm-hmm.
Right. All right. Let's give another shout out. So we have amazing people on Twitter. If you haven't been on Twitter right now, you need to be, because there is a lot going on there. But to Kristen Cox, thank you so much. And she didn't know anything about Jamboard, and she made this really cool Jamboard, and she's super excited about using it. So thank you so much for indulging in these tools and really learning about things you may not know about.
And then some of them, like Jamboard specifically, we get a lot of questions. That one, just know that certain things, depending on what domain you're in, so if you're in your school domain, certain things are what are called whitelisted or not, right? So if your district hasn't turned it on for you to access it there, if it's not in your waffle or in your chocolate bar, if it's not there, it will be in your personal. So you could test it there if you're trying to go through your school. If you don't have a personal one, then make a personal one, and then you can test out all this stuff because it'll be there for you. So that's one way you haven't seen it before. All right. Next,
another shameless plug here, but on June 30th, we are having a Jamboard session with my GEG Colorado. So join us.
Yeah, you are.
That on Global GEG. That'll be helpful for you.
Okay. So right now, just another way to earn some points. So say something that you're excited about implementing. We've been shouting out lots of people all day, but if you want to tag a presenter, remember we're all here as volunteers from all over the world. So tag a presenter to say thank you. It means a lot. When we got little messages yesterday, I have to tell you, it was so heartwarming to get to write people back. So so thank you. Tag a presenter, tell them how much you learned from them, and that will help give you some points. So much appreciated to everybody. Oh yeah, that session, that was so great. Rachel was amazing on that Jamboard session.
Yes, she knows so much. I can't wait for her session with Rachel. And also, just like you said, Stephanie, oh my gosh, I am so excited that, when people send you these messages on Twitter and they're like, thank you so much, or they have their shirt on and they're taking selfies with us. Like, we honestly love that. Like, it is so awesome. I mean, for us to just get on there and be like, hey,
It really is heartwarming. And then I know we even had some questions, Stacey, if you don't mind doing the next slide, just about the test itself. So just one thing to note is it is not a requirement that you go and take the test. At least here in California, though, for a lot of teachers that are trying to get their teaching credential, or teacher candidates is what we call it here, it has been woven into part of the credential process for some institutions. So in lieu of taking like a tech class, students are required to pass level 1. So I know when we were doing this boot camp, I reached out to a lot of the teacher credentialing programs that were here to let their students know this was an available resource. But there's not a requirement. Some districts ask that you are, so you might want to check with your own school about that in known districts. I know when some districts went to distance learning, that became something that they were asking their teachers to do. If you are part of a Google school, if your school has a classification, they may require that when you are doing a job application. But again, these are not things that are required. Like, we're not saying you have to go take it, but we're hoping to give you all the tools needed to do whatever your school or district or your state or your country or your county asks of you. The cost for level 1, it is a $10 cost for the exam. Depending on where you work, sometimes some schools may have some vouchers for you. Those are not things that we can let you know, but I know some districts try to help promote it within their school, so you might want to check with your own school or school site. And then, do you want to go over, Amber, the difference here so people aren't confused when they go to sign up?
Yes. So as I was talking about earlier with that document that Stacey Klein has for us, there's 2 different systems that we're working in right now. You have access to both. You can take it in either or at this current moment. Criterion is going to be the old system where they're going to be phasing away from that and moving into ProctorU July 1st. So if you want to take it in Criterion, you have that there below. That's the old testing platform, and you're more than welcome to do so. You can also take it in ProctorU right now in that platform. Like I said, though, before July 1st, you have access to both, but after July 1st, you're only having access to ProctorU. That Criterion system is going away after July 1st, so just be prepared for that and make sure that you know it's going to be a different testing system. I know when I restarted for my level 1 that I had to put the little ProctorU extension in my browser bar, so just make sure you know about that too. You're going to have to download that. So if you are using a district computer and it's whitelisting you for different things, make sure you have something that you can download extensions on, because you'll need it for the ProctorU one as well.
That's a really good tip if you're on a school device and maybe they don't let you add something. So that's really good to know. The other thing I would say, one note is ProctorU, when you go to sign up for that one, it has you pick a specific date and time for taking the exam. So that is one difference, is you'll have to know. In the previous system, you had kind of a window of time that you could take it. And then Amber, is it a week out that you have when you're doing that first system? I believe it is that when you're signing up, if you're doing it through Criterion, that original system, you'll have a week, 7 days to take it. So you'll need to know your window. If you're going through ProctorU, you'll actually pick the specific date and time, and you'll want to map 3 hours out for yourself. So I think Steph Howell mentioned it in her session, but the test itself is broken up into multiple choice questions and then kind of practical ones. And the practical ones for me are the ones I loved it. I was like, okay, you're telling me what to do and I could show it. And then a lot of times, maybe it's just me as a teacher, but those multiple choice, I always started to second guess myself, because they are ones where they'll say, like, what are the 3 of the 5 things listed here that this tool can do? And I'll start to go through my mind about what it is. So I just think sometimes we second guess ourselves, but most of the time your first thought is right. And you really just need to go through, what can that tool do? And if you've played around with it, if you've practiced with it, you're going to go in with that fresh understanding and then just think through that. And then there is a particular percentage, it's 80%, correct, Amber?
Right, it is correct. And then there's 2 little things on the Criterion system in ProctorU. I know you were saying when you sign up in Criterion, they send you an email pretty much like immediately within 24 hours, and you have 7 days to log in and take that test. whenever you want, whatever time, just 7 days. And then Proctor, you do have to set up a time and date, but you actually don't have to set up an actual time. You can go in there on a date and you can just do on demand. I did see that in there. And so you can click on it and say, okay, I want to take it immediately right now. And you can do that in Proctor. There is certain days you can take it on, but as far as time goes, you might just be able to go in there and press immediate testing and take it then as well.
And it is 3 hours. I was seeing that you get 3 hours. You don't have to use them all, but you are more than welcome to. And you can review as you're doing things to make sure before you hit go. You just want to make sure that you are in a location where you can take it. You know, I have 3 kids, so that was a piece, right? Like how to carve out that time in my day. And when somebody's not going to interrupt me, it's really hard to find, right? Is it going to be the middle of the night? It might be if you're in my house, right? So how am I going to do that and do it where I'm not interrupted and I can focus and I'll be able to actually take it and give myself the best chance possible. And then on the side of this one, when you're looking at it, we have some great videos that were put in by some awesome friends in the Philippines who have put in some great videos. So we have links within here. So all of our slides, if you don't know it, our slide deck, when you have access to it, it will link out when you click in particular parts, like it is hyperlinked in certain areas. So it'll take you to all of these pieces. When some of you are asking, what is the link? What's the link? It'll be in the slide deck itself, and you can easily access that. And then I think the size of your screen, Stacey, thank you so much. Okay, we would much appreciated. Stacey has been a rock star in the background. Okay, yes. And we would love your feedback. Global GEG, we ask for feedback on everything. We saw your comments. There are lots of things, and we would love to be able to help you with it, right? So we saw some of you might want a larger mouse going around. Maybe for our day 2, we can work on having our presenters using a larger clicker. So those are pieces, right? But we want to be able to show you how to do some of these things for yourself too, how to go full screen if you need it. There are lots of pieces. So if there's particular things that you need from us or want from us and want to give some shout outs or some feedback to our presenters, we would love it. We are asking you to grow and continue to learn, and it is our goal to model that for you too. So please provide us with feedback. We'd love to know what worked really well and what else you might need.
Yes, and also I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Steph, but I believe that if they fill out this feedback form, then it can get their certificate at the end.
I think that's on the next slide. It might be on the next slide.
Okay.
That was really
somewhere in this area
here.
There we go. This is just another shout out. This is a shout out. But it's also going to be, is this the certificate?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, and I would love to be corrected and make sure, but is it Abdurazak? I hope I'm saying it correct. Please correct me. And we just want to say thank you so much for your post. You've been rocking the posts, by the way. I have absolutely loved seeing them. But when you fill out the feedback, you will then get a certificate. And if you could please give us 24 hours, right? These are sent to you, but sometimes that generation of the certificates takes a little bit of time. If after 24 hours you haven't received your certificate, maybe you need it to show that you participated in some professional development in your district, or you just want it for yourself, whatever your motivator, we would love to have you. So for today's, you'll end up getting 3 hours of credit for your time here, and that will come to you. And then if you haven't, you can email us. And so that email address for us is info@globalgeg.
And then at the bottom there, it's scrolling the feedback form. If you missed it on the other slide, please make sure you fill that out so you can get your certificate.
Yay. And we want to say thank you so much to everybody for attending. It has been a huge amount of work for all of our amazing presenters, but in my mind, it has been totally worth it. And we have come together, just so that you're aware, we've come together from all around the globe to put this on for you. And we are all members of all different Google educator groups all over. You'll be seeing different people on day 2 that are from other parts of the world. And we're hoping to be able to give shout outs to people for all the great work that they're doing. Google educator groups are free groups just here to support you. And we just wanted to show you the power of what we could do when we all come together to support one another. Oh, All right, we got a little preview. I trust you, but we'll see if it happens. So we just want to say one more time, thank you so much for attending. If you have further questions, please come on Monday. And then there are many more sessions that Global GEG is putting out that is just free PD for you. And PD means professional development if you don't use that acronym in your area. So we are putting out lots of free support for you. And if you're on the website, it is separated into different sections. And so find whatever it is that you need. We hope that this has encouraged you to want to take the level 1 exam. And even if you don't necessarily need it for anything, I learned so much just from the process of taking the test. And I think we have lots of students out there that would say the same thing, right? If you're an instructor, you know that you learn a lot just from taking the test. And if you need to, you can take it again. So I learned a ton, and I felt like I was already teaching people in my district. So I really think that it isn't that it is at a level that you cannot access. It's just we only know what we know. And until we're shown something else, until you try it, you might not know it yet. So we're here to.
I think with the Teacher Center, I think that that's the place where you learn so much stuff, getting yourself prepared and ready for it as well. Looking in there, you will learn so many tools that you didn't even know about, even if you are a Google expert. There's just so much stuff to learn. And like Steph said, you learn more just taking the test than anything. And it's just helpful for you to take that with you and use it wherever you are. So. Yeah,
so practice as much as you need. Practice as much as you need, and then go for it. And we're here to cheer you on. And then be sure to tell us when you pass, when you take the exam, and we will cheer you on as well. Okay?
Post it.
Yeah, we're gonna get our cool outro coming, but yay, go Global!
Yes, thank you.
Thank you for attending, everybody.
Thank you. See you next time.